Yo, 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 you guys can hear me? We're live. What's up, guys? Pimp on a Blimp is live. Let's get this party started tonight. We are live. Yes, we are live right now. But we're live on the radio, so you know how that works. Sometimes there's going to be a delay. I'm going to try to make it where we can do it tonight without a delay, but look at the time. Donut's in here. We love Donut. What's up, Donut? We're about to start. Saturday night. Oh, have you guys not been able to hear me the whole time? Oh, great. Y'all couldn't even hear me. I'm an idiot. All right. And you guys can't hear the radio. And then when I go to the radio version, there's a delay. So the video is terrible, but hopefully we get the job. Then we can figure out how to make it where it's all live. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, guys? I thought Tucker did good. Huckabee didn't do that bad, though. I mean, he's a politician. He knows how to handle it. I thought Tucker won, but I'm just saying Huckabee did better than I thought.
Can you see the call screener in there?
Yeah, I can see it. Damn, that's on.
I'm gonna type something real quick. Let me see.
How do I turn down the volume of the headphones? It's so loud.
Should be a headphone volume right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna type something in the call screener. Let me see if you see it.
I don't see it. Yeah, I see it. I see him. We got Brian Shapiro, my favorite lefty. He's going to call in, so that'll be good.
All right, 20 seconds.
Why is that so loud? Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP, and you're riding with your boy Primetime 99 Alex Stein. We got a great show for you this evening. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, Donald Trump just had his tariff shot down by the Supreme Court. As a matter of fact, the same Supreme Court justices that he appointed were the ones that stabbed him in the back. It's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, you think you could trust the guys that you appoint? No. These people want to virtue signal. They want to constantly sell out the American working man. They want to sell out the middle class. They want to make it tougher for these small towns to come back and, reach American exceptionalism, because America is the greatest country on earth. And that's why these other foreign adversaries have to take advantage of us with trade, because we're too nice. I say that while we're about to start a war with Iran, but still, we are still too nice. We let Somalians come in here and make fake daycare centers. We let Muslims build as many mosques as they want. So, you know what? I'm kind of sick and tired of being the nice guy. And when I say that, that doesn't mean I want to go and start a bunch of wars, but I want to do this the right way. I want to do this by controlling the trade that we're getting basically hosed on. So I'm really frustrated with the Supreme Court justices by shooting this down. Of course, there was 3 that were on our side, but the majority were not, because they do not care about the American working class. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. All they care about is making sure that they fit with the status quo, that they don't make anybody mad, that they virtue signal, because that is the problem with society, is that we are too worried about the opinions of strangers. When the people that supported you and put you in place to be a Supreme Court justice, and then you go and do an about face and totally screw over the president, it makes me sick. But then on top of that, you can see who benefited from this. Howard Lutnick was able to short the tariffs, and his family made 5 to 10 times their initial investment shorting all of the government tariffs. So, for me, that seems like insider trading, but I'm not a financial expert. We're going to actually have a financial expert call in about 15 minutes, and he's going to give you his expertise when it comes to the tariff situation, because, I'm not an economist. I'm not an expert, but I know that China is making a bunch of money and we're not. I know that Canada right now, we're putting the screws to them, which we should, because at the end of the day, we need to be America first. And for way too long, we've been putting America last. I know you feel that way. I sure as heck feel that way. And we finally have a president that wants to put us on top. And it seems like the Supreme Court justices have a totally different plan. So I'm very frustrated. Let's start with this first clip of Trump basically just saying what a disaster it was and how ashamed he is for, this rule.
Tariffs is deeply disappointing. And I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way.
Well, they found a way.
Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic.
Yes, they are.
They're so happy.
They're so happy.
And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long.
That's what I like to hear. We don't want them dancing on our metaphorical economical grave. We need money in the bank, shorty, what you drank. That's what I'm saying. And we finally got a president that's going to make things fair. I'm not even asking for it to be fair. Honestly, I want us to be on top. If we got to screw over a few of these countries, go ahead. They've been screwing us over for years. America's always been last. It always comes. We're the ones that got to be the world police. We're the ones that always have to bite the bullet. Well, I'm sick of biting the bullet. And I also really don't like the fact that we're arguing about this and we're about to go to war with Iran. And then on top of all of this, we have the Epstein files released. So, that is a whole conundrum that really and truly, it's a stain on American exceptionalism. So the tariff situation is a stain. The fact that we're about to start another war when we're supposed to be no new wars, that's a stain. It just, all I'm saying at the end of the day, I want this country to stop having people that constantly sabotage it. We need to put people in power and elect Supreme Court justices that actually care about the American people. I mean, Ketanji Brown Jackson doesn't even know what a woman is. She doesn't even know the difference between a penis and a vagina. Think about that. So we have Supreme Court justices that don't know basic anatomy. And they are the ones that are making the decisions that are going to financially harm us, the American taxpayer. It's ridiculous. I just want a Supreme Court justice or two that have half a brain. We got a few of them, Kavanaugh, Alito, and obviously Clarence Thomas, but the rest of them, they're a bunch of goofballs. And I really don't trust them at all. And I want to get your guys' opinion tonight. We got a long show. We're going to be moving and grooving all night. If you guys want to call in, the number's 1-800-288-9227. Give us your opinion. I got a lot of hot takes, but if you guys got some hot takes too, we want to hear them because this show is a collaborative effort. We got to collaborate to penetrate the minds of the masses because we need to wake some people up. Everybody's just asleep at the wheel, going on about their business, acting as if everything's hunky-dory. Well, it's not hunky-dory. Everything is not okay. America is crashing and burning, and we need to stop that from happening. And the way that we do that is that we need to fight back, and we need to be civilly disobedient. We cannot just go along to get along. That is the worst operating procedure that we can do if we want to save this country. And we need to act now because the clock is ticking. In my opinion, we're at the end of the third, almost the fourth quarter of saving America. And if we don't do it now, we're down by a lot of points. If we don't start doing some Hail Marys and making some big plays that actually put America first, then it's going to continue to be America last for as long as I can tell. And I really hope that I'm wrong. And I've been wrong before, but when it comes to seeing the direction in which our country is going and seeing that our Supreme Court justices are selling out the American people, it really makes me worried. And it makes me sick. So if you love America, like I love America, call in tonight. It's 1-800-288-9227. Tell us your opinion because, like I said, this show's for the American people, by the American people. And if you're in a foreign country, actually, I'll allow you to call in. I might take one of your calls. I know we had some foreign callers last week, but thank you guys for listening. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
All right, we've got a full list of people. The guy from Buffalo not only wants to talk about tariffs, but he wants to invite you to be a guest speaker for a rally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so loud. It is like maybe say,
Check. Can you hear me?
how do I say?
Is that really loud?
It's a little.
There's Bruce.
Oh.
Windows.
Well, it's easy to sing about savings. Get 10 double-pane single-hung windows for just $59.50.
And 0 down and 0% financing with approved credit.
Exactly.
So call Best Buy Windows and Siding today at 469 Windows. That's Best Buy Windows and Siding.
Close enough, buddy.
Best Buy Windows and Siding.
Are you ready for more? Hello, it's Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And when you shop with Freeman Toyota, you get 3 years of complimentary oil changes. plus 3 years of complimentary tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with every new Freeman Toyota, 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like I said, you get a lot more, and you won't pay a dime for it. Come see us at 183 and 820 or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
In the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, whenever news happens, you'll hear it here. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Welcome to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. You're rocking with your host, Primetime 99 Alex Stein, and we got a great guest coming up. He's an economics expert, and I feel like he can give us better insight to what's going on because I'm not an expert when it comes to the economy. I mean, I know a little bit about trade, but I think this guy knows it a lot more. So I want to welcome on our guest. He's an expert. His name is Dan, and I hope I pronounce it Veroni. Dan Veroni, are you there, Dan? I don't know. I can't hear him. Well, Dan, I think Dan is on hold. Hopefully he'll be ported through here in a second. We got him on Zoom. But regardless, I think that what is important when it comes to all of these economic battles that we're currently struggling with is that Trump actually wanted to fix it, but he's not going to be able to fix it if the people surrounding him are constantly sabotaging him. And there's a saying that just because they're with you doesn't mean they're for you. And I think that's a clear example of what's going on is a lot of the people that Trump appointed are with him, but they're not for him. And that's the problem. It happened in the first administration, and now it's happening in the second administration. And, I was actually, looking at it from a 30,000-foot perspective, that it was actually pretty good that Trump was able to take off 4 years so we could see the Joe Biden disaster, so people could actually, have some appreciation for a president that is actually willing to put his neck on the line and actually try to make deals that benefit the American people. So in my mind, I thought it was great that he was able to kind of step back and learn from all of his mistakes. Not that he made a ton, but he did make a few, hiccups here and there. But really and truly, I'm starting to see the same mistakes being made over and over again. And it feels like I'm going insane because we're doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And that's where I'm frustrated, is that I want to see the result be positive. I don't want to constantly see these negative results, this negative media attention. And every story is just more ammunition for the left to attack the president, who I think is doing a good job. I mean, are there some ways that he can improve? Of course, there's a lot of ways that Trump can improve, but he's not perfect. He's a human being, just like you and I. So we got to give him a little bit of latitude. This is only, basically his first year. So, we have to give him a little bit of time. But at the same exact time, when it came to January 6th, he was on top of that. He got all of the J6ers right out of jail, pardoned them all. I think that was great, the way that he had a sense of urgency when it came to that situation. I don't know if I'm seeing that urgency when it comes to fixing all of our problems. I mean, is Donald Trump going to be able to fix the fentanyl problem in America? I would hope so, but I don't know if bombing Iran makes America have less fentanyl. And I think that that's really important because we have a serious drug problem in our country. And I know that we bombed Venezuela, so that allegedly stopped some of the drugs from coming into this country. But I'm not a drug expert, but from the evidence that I've seen, a lot of the drugs come from the southern border. And China is directly involved with the distribution of the fentanyl. They have factories where they're legally allowed to make fentanyl as long as they add one chemical property to it so that it is not the same exact molecule of fentanyl. But then what they can do is they can send this product to Mexico, and then in Mexico, they can repackage it and turn it into fentanyl and flood the streets. And that's why there's cities like Philadelphia where half the people look like the Walking Dead. They look like zombies. They're folded over, their body's in rigor mortis. They have wounds and sores all over their face, their neck, their hands, and their bodies are eating them from the outside in, which is disgusting because they're covered in blood. All right, we got Dan. Dan, welcome to the show, Dan Vernet. How are you doing, my friend? You're live on WBAP with Alex Stein. Well, I can't hear Dan. Dan, you there? Well, I don't know. We can't hear him. We got him on the Zoom. We're having a little technical difficulties, but this is what's going to happen on a Saturday night. We're just kind of playing it loose and fast. We're trying to get the callers in. We're trying to get the experts on. So it definitely happens. But I don't know if this is going to help me get hired here, having technical difficulties. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do about it? You just got to keep moving and grooving. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening to WBAP. The phone lines are lit up. We got a bunch of callers. We're going to get to you guys. If we can get to Dan first, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Regardless, when it comes to the Trump administration, he's being sabotaged. I think that the way that 6 justices voted against these tariffs is a clear indication that the people that Trump even appointed are not having his back. So we need to unify. We need to come together. We need to be able to figure out our problems and not spend it arguing on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, because really, at the end of the day, what do people care about? We want cheap gas. We want cheap groceries. We want to be able to afford a home. So if we can make that easier by taxing these other countries that are taking advantage of us in these geopolitical trade deals, then I'm all for it. But apparently, these Supreme Court justices that have a job for the rest of
former CIA
don't have to worry about any sort of
who was at the White House this morning talking to his
rat's
friends.
derriere about it.
And he says that a decision has been made.
The same people that
to
Trump
attack
appointed
Iran
turn their back on
Monday
him.
Or
so I'm
Tuesday.
asking you, the American people that voted for Trump,
yesterday
let's not
gave
turn our
Iranians
back on
10
Trump,
days
because
to,
there are some, serious criticisms we can make, especially if we're about to go to
accept
war
our
on Monday or Tuesday, which
for
I'm thinking we will. And here's a clip from John
program,
Kirkhoff,
and then to,
an ex-CIA analyst who worked for the CIA,
their
talking about how we're probably
enrichment
going to go to war
program,
on Monday or
and
Tuesday.
then to supporting groups in the Middle East like Hamas
at the White House this morning,
Hezbollah and
talking
the
to his
Houthis.
friends.
But he's done this,
and he
before.
says that a decision
he'll give you 10 days,
has
he'll
been
give you 2
made
weeks, and then he'll just attack 2 days
Iran
later.
on
He
Monday
thinks that
or Tuesday
keeps people off balance.
yesterday gave
And
the Iranians
so
10 days
he said that
to
there are battle lines
to
that the anti-war
accept our
forces
proposals
are JD
for
Vance
an
and
end
end
to their
ballistic missile program,
He
and
said
then
that the
to
pro-
that's it.
To,
He said the
their
pro-war
uranium
people
enrichment
are
program
led by Marco
and then
Rubio,
to supporting
and include Pete
groups
Hegseth
in the Middle East
and
like
now the Joint
Hamas
Chiefs of
and
Staff.
Hezbollah
And I
and the
stopped him on
Houthis.
that point,
But he's
this
done this
morning, and I
before.
said, "Wait a minute."
He'll
I
give
said,
you 10 days. He'll give you 2
during the
weeks,
Iraq
and then
War,
he'll just
at the
attack.
start of the Iraq War.
Yeah,
The most
He thinks that
stridently anti-war
and
component was the
he said
Joint
that
Chiefs of
there are
Staff. They were
battle
always
lines
the last ones
the
that wanted to attack
anti-war forces
because they know what
are
war is.
JD Vance and
And he said,
Tulsi
but you
hear
forget.
that.
He said that the
That's
Trump has replaced
He said
all
the
of the Joint
pro-war
Chiefs this year.
people are
This past- in
led
the
by
past
Marco
12 months.
Rubio
and
and
I had
include
forgotten.
Pete Hegseth and
Any
now
of
the
these
Joint
four-star
Chiefs of Staff.
generals
And
who,
I
had
stopped
worked
him on
their
that
way
point
up
this
through
morning,
the
and I
ranks.
said, wait a minute. I said,
but had served
during the
under
Iraq
Biden
War,
at the start of the Iraq
fired
War.
all of them.
The most stridently anti-war component was the Joint Chiefs of Staff. They were always the last ones that wanted to attack because they know what war is. And he said, but you forget. Trump has replaced all of the Joint Chiefs this year, in the past 12 months, which I had forgotten. Any of these four-star generals who, had worked their way up through the ranks, but had served under Biden, he fired all of them.
which I think that is a big deal. I mean, I'm happy that he got rid of a lot of the Biden holdovers, but now when you have the Joint Chiefs of Staff who stereotypically, they're the ones that want to fight the war the least, they're the ones that are the most hesitant. Now they're all pro-war. So it seems like Monday or Tuesday, the bombs are going to be dropping. And I really hope that the situation is similar to what happened in Venezuela, that we don't lose American lives. But I think that the foreign adversaries in Iran are going to be a little tougher than Venezuela. And I think they're going to fight a lot harder than, what they did. All right. Well, we got to go to break here in a second. So I guess we'll have Dan on. Dan, you there? I don't hear him. Yeah, I don't hear Dan.
Yes, sir.
Are you there, Dan? Dan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I can barely hear you, Dan. Sorry. Hey, well, we got you on the air, but we're about to have to take a break. So can you hang out for the next segment? Because we're about to go to break. We're not going to be able to talk for much longer. I can't hear Dan. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. We're having some technical difficulties. Dan, have a good evening. It looks like we're not going to be able to get you tonight. That happens. Well, guys, let me just tell you this much. I'm not an economic expert that we had call in. Unfortunately, we're having some technical difficulties, because I'm not an expert when it comes to the radio either. So Okay, well, however we need to do it, let's get it done. It's not that big a deal. We're going to call you back, Dan. I don't know if you can hear me, but if not, just hold on. Sorry that we're having these difficulties. This is not going to help me get the job here. Not going to help me whatsoever. So I'm a little mad. I'm freaking out right now. I'm trying to do some radio, and I can't even get anything to work right now. But it's okay. We're going to calm down. I am the pimp on a blimp. I'll steer this ship and land this plane. Everything's going to be A-okay. I just need to get a little yelling and screaming out so I feel a little better about myself because the anxiety level is rising. The country's about to go to war, and I don't want that to happen because I think there's about to be a bunch of dead Iranians, and I'm afraid that they might kill some of us, and I don't want dead Americans ever in any situation. I don't care if it's war. I know war is bad, and I know bloodshed is common, but I still don't want to lose American lives, especially in a war against Iran. So if you guys have some hot takes when it comes to this upcoming battle, please call in. The number's 1-800-288-9227. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
You know, high quality and reliability that lasts for decades is pretty hard to find in any home improvement trade. You know, the original owner would crawl over broken glass to establish their reputation, then they get bought out, and who knows after that. Well, that's not the way it is with Clarity Windows and Doors. Hi, I'm Brad Barton. I've known Chris and Melissa and the Pollard family for probably 20 years now. You're not going to find finer people, and you're not going to find a better value in windows or better installers. And both are backed by Clarity's lifetime warranty on parts and workmanship. Currently, you buy one window at the regular low price and get the next one 40% off. You get 20% savings on all doors and flexible financing tailored to your budget. Join the thousands of North Texas homeowners who trust Clarity with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Book your free in-home consultation today at ClarityWindows.com or call 972-393-3991. Clarity Windows and Doors. Timeless beauty, savings, and comfort that lasts.
Bring clarity to your home. Clarity Windows and Doors.
Most advisors leave your portfolio on autopilot. At DTN Wealth, we steer ahead. We move when risk shows, not after losses pile up. Let's protect what you've built. Call DTN Wealth at 817-438-6752. 817-438-6752 or visit online at dtnwealthplanning.com. DTN Wealth. It's time to disrupt the norm.
QC Kinetics helps active people stay active. People like David Boardman, police officer, competitive athlete, and gym owner who trains hard almost every day.
My body's taken a lot of abuse over the years. I've had multiple knee surgeries on both of my knees. I could barely run a mile prior to going to QC Kinetics. Doctors have all told me, hey, you are going to need knee replacements.
But QC Kinetics gave David great news.
We're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but two healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
And after David's regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics?
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week. I really wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for QC Kinetics.
From knee pain to Ironman training.
It's a no-brainer.
Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics to book your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 972-972-8610. That's 972-972-8610. 972-972-8610.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Are you ready for more? Hello, it's Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And when you shop with Freeman Toyota, you get 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus 3 years of complimentary tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with every new Freeman Toyota. 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like I said, you get a lot more, and you won't pay a dime for it. Come see us at 183 and 820 or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
Fox News, I'm Roger Stern. New York City bracing for its first blizzard in 9 years, starting tomorrow, as a powerful nor'easter moves up the Atlantic coast. New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
New York City and Long Island, first forecasted to get a foot. We are now looking at 18 inches to 24. Let me help you with that. 24 inches is 2 feet. Now we're talking serious snow.
Much of the Northeast also faces heavy snow and high winds. Just a day after the Supreme Court struck down most of President Trump's tariffs, he's back threatening more using a legal workaround.
He's raising the 10% worldwide tariff on countries to what he called the fully allowed and legally tested 15% level. He'll just be using a different trade law.
Fox's Madeline Rivera, America's listening to Fox News.
Breaking news streamed right at you. Download the app.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Well, it's a great Saturday night to be listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with your boy Primetime Alex Stein. There's no better place to be than DFW right now because you know what? The weather's perfect. I mean, it's about 60 degrees, but New York City's about to have another blizzard. And with Mayor Mamdani in place, you know that snow is never going to be cleaned up. They're going to be stuck under that snow until the summertime, it looks like. So, you know that groundhog that said we're going to get a few more months of winter? Well, the groundhog was right. We're going to have a winter storm 2.0 in the northeast part of the country, and I'm not jealous whatsoever. I was really affected by the snow here in Dallas. I mean, it had me and my family shook. But speaking of snow, this next guy, I feel so bad. I feel terrible. We had some technical difficulties, but now I think we got him. This guy's an economic expert, and he's going to forecast what's going to happen with these Trump tariffs. So let's welcome on Dan Veroni. Dan, are you on the air? Can we hear you, Dan?
I am, Alex. Thank you so much for having me on your program. We are connected.
Okay, awesome. We're having some technical difficulties. You know, I'm not the normal Saturday night guy. They're letting me fill in. So I'm still kind of figuring out how to operate the board. So I apologize for that snafu. But can you tell us what's going on with these Supreme Court justices? And is this a big deal? I mean, I think it's a big deal. But can you explain it in layman's terms so we can understand it, the non-economic expert?
So, Alex, I'm going to start off by saying I'm going to quote Margaret Thatcher when she said, "This is no time to go wobbly," because it's no time to go wobbly. There's a lot more good news here that we're not hearing. First of all, the Supreme Court didn't end the tariffs. They enforced what they see as constitutional guardrails. I believe that the administration and even markets anticipated this decision. That's why the president came out yesterday in the White House press room and said, we're moving forward with action under Section 122. Yesterday was 10% tariff. Today, he elevated it to 15%. The tariffs have not gone away. So it was a legal pathway that changed. The direction did not. So again, not time to go wobbly, moving forward in that direction. But what I want to
go ahead.
What I want to share with you, Alex, because this is important. This doesn't get reported. There's good news here. What the president has done is he has used tariffs as leverage. That leverage has built a reindustrialization success story here in the U.S. And he's done it in a number of ways. One is the 100% expensing under the One Big Beautiful Bill that accelerates plants and investment. But what he's done with his tariff leverage is he's had companies from overseas making additional investments, pharmaceutical facilities that are expanding in North Carolina, Texas, Indiana, and Ohio. There's auto and auto part plants now expanding in Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, and Michigan, semiconductor plants in Texas, Arizona, and Ohio. A lot of foreign capital flowing into American factories. The other thing that's underreported is that autos and auto parts now have access to Japan, to Southeast Asia, countries like Vietnam, and to Latin America. So when people say this leverage hasn't worked, I'm telling you the facts are in black and white. The issue is, respectfully to the White House communications team, they need to do a better job communicating the good news of this stuff, because this is very good news.
No, it is. And I think I read that Hyundai is building $1 billion factory,
Yes.
I think, in Tennessee.
Yes.
So explain to me this. So, because, I'm a little ignorant when it comes to, economics, even though I did get a college degree, but I graduated from LSU. So no, they really didn't teach me much there. My point is, when you go to these small towns, I have a house in Hillsboro, and now they put a Buc-ee's in Hillsboro. So now it's been booming. My property's gone up. I love it. But isn't it kind of sad that it takes a Buc-ee's to fix a small town in East Texas? Like, why are we having trouble? Why are all these small towns dying? Shouldn't they be dominating right now, especially with the mass immigration that we've had over the past few years? Why is the American small town dying? What were the economic effects that caused that to happen?
Great question. So here's the answer. So in the prior administration, what they did is they created a supply-demand imbalance. What I mean by that is they blew out costs with $7 trillion, and they the last administration imposed $1.4 trillion in regulations that raised inflation. It diminished investment, and small businesses, who, by the way, are the foundation of this country, weren't investing as much. 99.9% of the companies in this country are small businesses. Small businesses are far more energized now because of President Trump's big, new, beautiful bill. We are seeing industrial investment. The economy's taking off. Small business jobs are coming back. And you're going to see these small towns and mid-sized towns begin to come back as a result of small business investment.
Well, Dan, though, what's frustrating is to me, I'm an American taxpayer. I'm sure you are as well. But I feel like these multinational corporations are the ones that have all the power, because you look at a company like Apple, one of the biggest companies in America, but they make all of their phones in China. Why doesn't Trump hold them accountable? And I know that he is doing that with these tariffs, but why isn't Apple making phones in America? And I know they're going to say, well, it'd be that much more expensive, but I think people would pay for it if that was the case. Am I crazy for thinking that?
No, you're not crazy for thinking that. I believe people would pay for it. I would pay for it, and I'm sure you would too as well. But I will tell you that the president has been in discussions and negotiations with Apple. They are increasing production in Wisconsin at their manufacturing plant, and they're going to be they made a commitment to the president to build more phones and more product here in the U.S. It's starting. We're not fully there yet, but the journey has started.
Well, this is another issue that I think is affecting a lot of Americans. We talk about this healthcare in our country and these other countries, these socialist countries, they get the free healthcare. What is Trump doing to fix our economy when it comes to the healthcare crisis, I guess you'd call it, in America? And how is that affecting everybody?
Well, it's interesting. I think that the president is trying to make sense of what should be a better healthcare law. He's put some proposals out there. Republicans in the House and the Senate are gathering around him to do that. But I'm going to tell you, I've got some other suggestions for how to make healthcare better, and I'm going to share them with you. And it has to do with small business. Half the U.S. workforce are in small businesses, and what we need to do in this country is that Congress needs to approve something called association health plans. This allows small businesses to gather as a group and to do a mass purchase of healthcare. That will allow them to hire workers, to be more competitive in the workplace, and to keep workers and to make them more competitive and to increase jobs. The other thing is to allow healthcare to be sold across state lines. That'll increase competition, and it will lower prices for all of us. If we do those two things, I think it's a big win. And I think as you're talking on your show to guests, I'd ask them, are they supporting association health plans? And will they support allowing healthcare to be sold across state lines? Those barriers need to go away so we can increase competition.
No, you're exactly right. And that's the problem, is these guys, these insurance companies and these healthcare companies have a monopoly at the end of the day. And so that they can charge us whatever they want. I know Trump has put in legislation where he is, lowering the price of medications, but still everything is just so expensive. You have one major incident, it can bankrupt a normal family. So I really appreciate what Trump's doing. Now, when it comes to this war in Iran, to me, war actually helps our economy. So do you think that we'll get a boost from going to war with Iran? Will that actually put money in American people's pockets in a way?
Interesting question. So I want you to think of the fact that a quarter of the world's oil comes through the Straits of Hormuz. What the president is trying to do is to create stability. That stability will create certainty. That certainty will both stabilize and lower price per barrel of oil prices. That's where the president is headed, because there's constant disruption in the Middle East, especially around the Straits of Hormuz, and it comes from Iran and the Iranian proxies. That's why the president has got, taking control of the situation, creating certainty, lowering the price per barrel of oil.
No, you're exactly right. That is about 25% of the world's oil comes through that strait, and Iran has full control of it. So it seems like that is one of the biggest motivating factors, is Trump wants to be able to control that avenue, because really it is important. And, when it comes to natural gas resources, that is, in my opinion, where all the money in the bank is. I mean, that's really the main thing that we have in America, is that we're able to be energy independent in a way. So I think it's very important that we control all of the energy in the world. So last question I'm going to ask you before you go, Dan. I really appreciate your expertise, but what are we going to do about the destabilization of the dollar? I mean, if you just go back 10 years, not even that long ago, money had much more value. And then you go back 20 years, it had a lot more value. And then 30 years, it had a lot more value. I mean, the dollar is dying. How do we stop this, Dan?
So the answer is we've got to stabilize the dollar. That will happen with our new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, after he's approved by the Senate in May. One of his key focuses will be restoring stability to the U.S. dollar. Having a stable U.S. dollar is important for exports. The reason why that's important is because manufactured exports create U.S. jobs. That's why we need a stable dollar.
Well, are you familiar with what Maduro was doing? Allegedly, he was able to trade Venezuela's currency for, I guess, the national average, while citizens, if they wanted to convert the Venezuelan dollar or whatever it was, I'm not sure the name, peso, I don't know, they had a much worse rate. Are you familiar with the kind of financial fraud that he was doing?
Yeah, I am familiar with it. And the good news is it's not happening anymore.
Well, that is good news. Well, Dan, how can people find you and support you to hear more of your expertise before you go?
So you can find me at danielveroni.com. First. Secondly, please buy my new book, Rethinking Economic Growth. It's about the power of small business and driving the U.S. economy. They can find that on Amazon. And Alex, I'm happy to come back on air whenever you want.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back. And I look forward to this resurgence of America, but I'm waiting on it. I think we all are. We want to see America get back on top, and sometimes it feels like we're not on top, Dan. So I guess that'll be my last question. Are we heading in the right direction, in your opinion?
Yes, and here's why. When you look back at what happened after President Reagan took office in his first term, it took 18 to 24 months. We're at month 13, I believe. By the time we get to the summer, we'll be well on the way. And as we move into the end of the year, into early next year, this economy will be booming.
That's like music to my ears. Well, thank you, Dan. All right, guys, coming up next, we're going to get deep into some of these conspiracy theories that Bill Maher was arguing with Lauren Boebert about. It's some interesting stuff. And we got Trump talking about eating the cats and dogs, but Lauren Boebert says they're eating the humans too. You don't want to miss it. Coming up next, you're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
The amount of U.S. military hardware in the region right now is impressive and imposing, including dozens of F-15s, F-35s, AWACS, KC-135s, cargo planes loaded with military equipment, and much, much more. In fact, the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier strike group passed through the Strait of Gibraltar at the mouth of the Mediterranean, obviously letting everybody know the big guns are on hand.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Feeling a chill? Those cold spots mean leaky windows, and that's money literally flying out the windows every month on your energy bills. At Best Buy Windows and Siding, we've got the solution. 10 single-hung, energy-efficient windows for just $59.50. Stop wasting money on high electricity bills and start saving today. We offer transparent pricing, no gimmicks, and a lifetime warranty on every single window. Call 469-WINDOWS or visit BestBuyWindowsAndSiding.com now to keep the cold out and your money in your pocket.
Best Buy Windows and Siding.
A paint job cannot be financed, but Rhino Shield can. It's Gary with Rhino Shield of DFW. With our ceramic coating and 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never worry about cracking, chipping, or peeling paint again. Rhino Shield also helps insulate your home and can lower your energy bills. And with our easy financing, payments can be under $200 a month.
Right now, take 15% off. So call now. Schedule your free estimate at 844-744-6628 or visit rhinoshielddfw.com. Protect your home for decades to come. Don't paint your house, shield it.
Tune into the Financial Hour presented by DeWitt and Dunn Financial Services, Sundays at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Your host, Kathy DeWitt Dunn, has the most up-to-date info you need for your financial success.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Thank you guys for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. I'm your host, Primetime Alex Stein, and we got a great guest. I mean, this guy is a frequent guest on Piers Morgan, and he's a liberal, totally liberal, even though I think he's kind of a fake liberal. He might call me a fake conservative sometimes because we agree on too much stuff, but still, I like to get him on the air and fight with him. He's got a local radio show as well, and Pushing the Limits Radio. Let's welcome on our guest, Brian Shapiro. Brian, you there?
Prime time. What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Well, are you excited that they shot down these tariffs? Is that a good thing? I'm sure you're on Ketanji Brown Jackson's side. You probably love that, right?
I'm not excited with anything in the Trump administration. I listened to your last guest, and I keep hearing these MAGA economists say that everything's going to be good in 6 months. Everything's going to be good in the summer. Give it another year. Give it another 2 years. It's funny. This guy ran on, I'm going to fix everything on day one. The prices of your groceries are going to go down, and I'm going to take care of the war in 24 hours. And let's give it another year. I mean, it's like, come on, man. At what point do we all just say to ourselves, the guy's full of it, and, things are not headed in the right direction. This is not America first. You know that, Alex.
Well, I'm a little worried, though. I'm just going to call balls and strikes. He said, no new wars, but we're about to go to war with Iran. So I think that's inevitable. What do you think about this upcoming conflict that's potentially going to happen on Monday or Tuesday?
First of all, weren't we told 8 months ago that we obliterated their nuclear capabilities? And I understand this isn't just about that. We were told 8 months ago they obliterated it. Listen, we've been hearing for 30 years about Iran's nuclear capabilities and that threat. We hear it from the Israeli government, which I'm very anti-Israeli government. And, they told us there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. How did that go? This is a joke. I think Trump is somewhat calculated. He always does certain things so certain people can profit. And this isn't good for the American people. It's not good for the American economy. It's good for certain people in the economy, just like the biggest tax breaks for the top 1%. Yeah, I think it's terrible. And I think we should be focused on our own first. And that's probably where I agree with a lot of Republicans. Yeah, we should be focused on Americans first. The war in Ukraine is awful. We got to stop getting involved with Israel. I've had enough, really, to be honest with you, with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Well, the guy does love war. I mean, I think there's no doubt about that. And you're exactly right. It's funny how that is a bipartisan issue. I would think that the people on the left and the people on the right all agree that we want to help Americans succeed. And we have a country that's not helping them succeed. But I want to ask you about a guy that I've been highly critical of, Howard Lutnick. Now, he's one of Trump's top guys, and he was able to make 5 to 10 times his initial investment by shorting these tariffs. Basically, I think he might have had inside information. So what do you think about a lot of the people in Trump's cabinet that might be sabotaging him, Brian?
Well, let's start with Howard Lutnick, who just said a month ago he wasn't on Epstein Island.
Yeah.
And then when the Epstein files came out, he had to admit he was there. But, he just took his family there for lunch. Alex, is there anybody that believes that? I mean, this is insanity. This guy, every single time he makes a TV appearance, he lies. And there are people, regardless of what you think about Donald Trump, the only person that maybe hates Trump more than I do is Melania. Okay, I can't.
No,
okay?
It's funny. I want to cut you off real quick because people do say there's trouble in paradise, but at the end of the day, I think Melania respects that he's the most powerful man on earth. You really think that their relationship's that bad? I don't think so.
When was the last time you think they slept in the same bed together? I think the last time was when Barron was conceived.
I don't know about that. I don't even know if Donald Trump sleeps. I saw a video where that Kid Rock says he calls him at 1 a.m. when he's drunk all the time, and Trump always answers. So I don't know. Maybe Trump's shot up with the same stuff they shot up Biden with as anti-sleep medication. He's on Adderall or something, maybe.
There's another very credible guy. Now, let me ask you a question. When Kid Rock said that, was he synced up properly, or how did that work out for him?
Listen, we have technical difficulties. You've had technical difficulties all the time, but then he performed it. I thought the halftime show was pretty good, but I also do agree with you. Like us getting mad at Bad Bunny so much, that seemed like a
Alex,
little overkill.
I know we're short here, but let me ask you about that. First of all, was that a live show? That Turning Point, was that live?
No, I think they admitted it was pre-taped.
Okay, so that was a live. Let me ask you another question.
Well, I don't know if that was a lie. I don't know if they ever said that it was live. I don't think that they ever represented that way.
I hear from the right that they don't like the Bad Bunny for his lyrics and for women that were dancing. Kid Rock, correct me if I'm wrong, is the guy who has lyrics in his songs about being with underage girls, and in Ball with the Ball, he's singing about drugs and prostitution. So I'm wondering, wouldn't you call that a bit of hypocrisy at a minimum?
Well, I would say that he's been saved, and that was the old Kid Rock, and that, it's like the caterpillar to the butterfly. We all have to have a transition. We can all change, and that's why America's so great, because you can start off as a degenerate and find the Lord, and then, have a reclamation effect,
I know how much Alex loves people who transition. We know how.
I do love it. I like him because I can gamble on him, and you're a gambler yourself. But I need to come out to Vegas. We really need to go up there and give
I'm going to the fight tonight, Alex. I'm going to the fight tonight, the Garcia fight. Actually, my boys are picking me up now, and I got a little action on Garcia. It's a big fight at T-Mobile, and there's a lot. March Madness, man, you got to come out here for March Madness. This is what's so crazy. You're like one of the few people that actually get me. Do you know how many people just absolutely hate me?
Well, Brian, I have to cut you off. It's because you fight with everybody, Brian. Because you yell and fight with everybody on the internet. That's why they hate you.
I have a tweet that got 2 million views last night. Somebody said they forgot the names of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, and I just responded, and I said, I didn't forget. Who was that guy that got shot in the neck? That's all I said. Now, obviously...
Oh, come on. Don't talk about Charlie like that.
Listen,
you know that. That's
it's horrible what happened to him. It's horrible what happened to him, and never will you ever see me say that was a good thing. It was horrible. But if someone's going to go on social media and say something that was and good... I'm going to match their energy, and MAGA Republicans don't like that.
Well, of course not, because, listen, I didn't want Alex Preddy and Renee Good to die, but I think that if you talk about their cultural impact, Charlie Kirk had a much larger cultural impact. So I think that that's why people might get more triggered. But listen, Brian, different strokes for different folks. You're still my friend, even though we disagree on a lot. We actually agree on a good amount, too. So, Brian, thank you for calling in. Before you go, tell the people how they can find you and support you.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate you, man. At PTL Radio Show on my YouTube page, the Pushing the Limits Facebook fan page, and Brian Shapiro, pushingthelimits.live. Alex, I appreciate you, brother. Keep up the good work, my friend.
Yeah, be safe at that fight. Don't gamble too much. You never know. I think it's probably fixed or rigged. All right, guys, coming up next, we're going to talk about Huckabee verse, my boy, Tucker Carlson. And it got a little spicy. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Hey guys, does your sex life stink? At Men's Edge Medical, they understand the unique challenges men face as they age, and they're here to help you get back to being the best version of yourself. Here's patient counselor Raul Garza.
Whether it's erectile dysfunction or premature stamina, we offer advanced treatment tailored and customized to your needs. Our medical professionals specialize in solutions that work using the latest and cutting-edge technology and a personalized approach to ensure you feel like yourself again.
Don't let these issues define you. Men's Edge Medical offers discreet consultations, and they take the time to listen and understand what's holding you back. Whether you suffer from ED, low T, or premature stamina, Call today for a free consultation. If you don't get results on your first visit, that visit is free. Call 972-996-0900, 972-996-0900, or go to mensedgemedical.com.
Here's Jim Dutton, host of Texas Home Improvement and owner of Due West Foundation Repair.
You know, after doing this radio show for the past 21 years and answering thousands of questions on the air, I'm still amazed at just how many people call the show that hired a foundation repair company and were sold repairs they didn't need, or worse, when they need them the most, the company that did the repairs is out of business. Call my company, Due West Foundation Repair. We've literally repaired tens of thousands of foundations in the state of Texas since 1978. And most jobs come with a lifetime transferable warranty backed by a company that's been keeping homes on a solid foundation since 1978. Don't take chances and hire some fly-by-night company. When it comes to one of your biggest investments, call the best. Call Due West Foundation Repair, 972-406-0912. That's 972-406-0912. Online at du-west.com.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented.
Yeah, you guys can hear me now, but yeah, the audio's out of sync because we have a delay. I want you guys to be able to hear the show, but I'm just going to stop going live for the show because there's no point because there's going to be such a delay. So I'm about to end the stream. Thank you guys for watching, and we're just having so many technical difficulties. I can't do it all. I don't even know how to work the board yet. So it's just, and I'm definitely not going to get hired after this show. This show has been a disaster. So nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. If you guys want to listen to it, you guys can listen to WBAP.com. So love you guys. Thank you guys for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. But tonight's episode, we're on 8:20 a.m. right now. So we're trying our best. I'm trying my best. Jared's doing a good job. I don't know why we had an echo in the first one. We went to break 2 minutes early. At least we got a long show. We got 2 more hours.
Men's Edge Medical is here to help you reclaim your confidence and performance. No gimmicks, just real results, or your first visit is free. Call Men's Edge Medical today, 972-996-0900, 972-996-0900. Men's Edge Medical. Get your edge back today.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins with stories you won't hear anywhere else.
President Trump is sending in the feds to work out the massive raw sewage spill on the Potomac River, saying it's clear local authorities cannot adequately handle this calamity.
And we don't need nasty. No. We don't need nasty. Honestly, there's no place for it.
Because that is nasty, boy. It is really gross.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays 11 a.m. till 2.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Listen, if you're losing your hair and you want a simple solution that's guaranteed to work,
Guys, you need advanced hair, top-rated physicians, modern technology, and your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, guaranteed. And if you do schedule your free consultation, you get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 469-599-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. And KPLX HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Fox News, I'm Roger Stern. New York City bracing for its first blizzard in 9 years, starting tomorrow, as a powerful nor'easter moves up the Atlantic coast. New York Governor Kathy Hochul declared a state of emergency for tomorrow morning in many counties.
It's time to brace for impact, New Yorkers. 2 days ago, we were expecting a run-of-the-mill, just February storm, something we're used to handling, very accustomed to. Just a little snow, maybe moderate disruption, really nothing to get too excited about. But over the last 24 hours, this forecast had shifted dramatically.
The Big Apple under a blizzard warning for the first time in nearly a decade. Over 2,200 flights have already been canceled for tomorrow and Monday as the Northeast prepares for widespread power outages thanks to winds up to 70 miles an hour. President Trump boosting tariffs across the world even more, despite a Supreme Court ruling against him. Here's Fox's Jill Nato.
When the Supreme Court ruled the International Emergency Economic Powers Act didn't give President Trump the power to impose tariffs, he went elsewhere. Under Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974, he can raise tariffs for a limited time. Late Friday, he imposed a 10% tariff, but Saturday he said he's raising them to 15%. And what about the money already collected under the previous tariffs? On Fox, Republican Senator John Kennedy put a positive spin on it.
If he gives back $300 billion worth of tariff money to the business community in America, this economy's going to roar, man.
California Governor Gavin Newsom wants refunds for American businesses and families. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
And America is listening to Fox News.
For WBAP, I'm WFAA meteorologist Jesse Hawila. Clear and cold tonight with a low of 38. A little bit breezy at times. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high around 60 degrees. And still cool on Monday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 59.
Breaking news. You never know when it'll happen. Whenever it happens, wherever it happens, you'll hear it here.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country.
Any attack by the United States, limited or not, would cause them to unleash their vast missile arsenal at U.S. bases vulnerable to attack in Qatar.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you want to move. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Ernie Brown. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the uncertainty of a traditional home sale and sell your home fast for all cash in as little as 21 days. For 30 years, Mark Spain Real Estate has been serving families just like yours and has helped over 72,000 satisfied clients. You can trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Go to markspain.com and start packing.
Do you want to be intimate with your loved one, but you just don't have the endurance and stamina like you used to? Well, you're not alone. ED issues and premature stamina are no longer taboo subjects. And going to Men's Edge Medical right here in Dallas is like going to any other doctor's appointment. At Men's Edge Medical, they offer real results tailored to fit your specific needs. No matter what might be causing your erectile dysfunction, they have solutions customized just for you that work. Don't be fooled by newcomer companies or trendy new treatments. Gainswave, also known as acoustic shockwave therapy, often doesn't work and may have side effects. Men's Edge Medical is local, and they've been the trusted choice in DFW for almost 20 years. Whether you're struggling with ED or premature stamina, Men's Edge Medical is here to help you reclaim your confidence and performance. No gimmicks, just real results, or your first visit is free. Call Men's Edge Medical today, 972-996-0900. 972-996-0900. Men's Edge Medical. Get your edge back today.
Are you ready for more? Hello, it's Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And when you shop with Freeman Toyota, you get 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus 3 years of complimentary tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with every new Freeman Toyota. 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like I said, you get a lot more, and you won't pay a dime for it. Come see us at 183 and 820 or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Thank you guys for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with your boy Primetime Alex Stein. It's a lovely Saturday night here in downtown Dallas. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I know I'm enjoying doing it. So I'm going to get to your calls. The lines are just jam-packed. Let's go with Ben. I don't know where Ben's calling from. Ben Watson, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mr. Stein?
I'm doing better now. I think we had a little snafus earlier, but I think we got everything dialed in, so everything should be pretty smooth for the rest of the show. How can I help you this evening?
First of all, I want to laugh about you guys saying all the bad weather and such. I live in Buffalo, New York.
Oh, you're toast. You're cooked. Aren't you guys about to get a bad blizzard?
Yeah, I think Monday we're supposed to get some pretty nasty stuff, but we're used to getting multiple feet per hour, not per day. So I guess we're due for it.
Yeah, but we can't handle it here in Texas. Like I'm just telling you, the roads close, the pipes freeze and crack and break. I mean, it's an actual disaster because we don't have the infrastructure for that cold weather. So that's why I'm acting like, such a soy boy. Oh, I'm so worried about the snow. It's because it's hot. It's 100 degrees for 80% of the year here. So when it gets cold like that, we just, we're not acclimated to it. But what do you think is going on right now? Forget about the weather. We can talk about the weather all day.
Yeah. No, I kind of want to circle back with what you were saying. We're kind of in the fourth quarter of supporting our president here. It's so detrimental that, and I have this conversation all the time with the groups that I'm involved with, that the conservative person, the conservative Republican, I almost think that we're a silent majority, but the thing is, nobody will get out. Nobody will say anything or speak up. You can't walk out of your house, be proud of who you are without being called a Nazi, you're a pedophile, everything under the sun. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get accomplished here in Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo's a great city. I actually was there last year, and it's actually one of the safest cities in America. I guess the nice area of Buffalo. But this is the problem, is that we are too concerned about the opinions of strangers, and everybody wants to be liked, when in reality it doesn't matter because they're probably going to dislike you anyway. So I think it's like we got to change the way that we think about other people's opinions, and people value them too much because, opinions are like buttholes, everybody's got one and they all sting.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. And, that's kind of one of the reasons why I was lucky enough to see you, on the radio tonight, is reaching out to you. We're actually holding a massive MAGA rally in July, and it's kind of just to bring people together. And Buffalo is a nice city, yes, but it is also a very blue city, and as of the past couple of years has become quite the sanctuary city.
Is that true? Are there a lot of illegals? What nationality are they? Are they Hispanic? Are they Somali? Are they Indian? What's coming up to Buffalo right now?
Yeah, it's all Indian. I mean, you know, you go downtown and it's just all, you know, Middle Eastern and stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of illegal people here. That's a big problem.
Well, real quick, Dan, let me cut you off. The problem is that a lot of those people are coming here legally. We're actually letting these multinational corporations do all kinds of H-1B visa fraud, but they do it legally. And that is what's happening in the DFW area. I'm not anti-Indian, but a third of the population of Americans, a third of the Indian population that is in America is in the DFW area. It's just, it's too many people in this small area. Like, they need to spread out, if anything.
Well, sure. Yeah, I agree. And, you know, going back to the event, you know, I don't know if you have anything going on in July or if you're even going to be out this way, but, you know, we'd be honored if you'd be able to be a speaker at that event.
Well, you know, maybe hit me up a little closer to then, you know, in July, and I can figure out a way to get up there. You know, it is about 2 flights to get to Buffalo. And I loved it. I actually spoke at the university, and it was, like I said, the police were great. It was a little cold, but it wasn't too cold. I think Buffalo is actually a really nice city, but it is, you know, it's far from New York City. Everybody thinks this is in New York. It's close to New York City. It is 4 hours away from New York City. So listen, Dan, thank you for calling in, and hit me up on Instagram, and we'll try to schedule a time where I can come out there and be part of that rally. I'd like to participate if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we need somebody to stand up for all the big booty Latinas as well. So,
and I always will. I'll never stop fighting for the big booty Latinas. If there's a cause that's near and dear to my heart, the most important cause, I think, is that we want amnesty for the big booty Latinas. You know, if you really think about it, these big booty Latinas, what are they doing? They're working at hotels or cleaning houses. A lot of the jobs that they do are great. They actually make the world better. They're not stealing, you know, $100,000 a year tech jobs from people that went to a college and spent $100,000 to get that degree. So if I really am calling balls and strikes, I believe that America and the foundation of our country is built on big booty Latinas and sadly slavery, but we don't have to get into that right now. My point is, there are some marginalized people that I do want to help, and I'm sick and tired of these multinational corporations doing all kinds of scams and making it so that they can just bring in and import all their workers instead of using an American as their labor force. It's just ridiculous. It needs to stop. But if a big booty Latina wants to come here and sell some tamales, I'm all about it because I love tamales. They're delicious. Well, thank you, Dan. Appreciate you calling in. Well, guys, coming up next, we're going to discuss the Tucker Carlson and Mike Huckabee disaster. And actually, I call it a disaster because there's a few points that were just kind of cringeworthy. But I really applaud Tucker and I applaud Mike Huckabee. I think he did better than I expected. But I'm happy that we're having these tough conversations because there's too many podcasts, there's too many shows where we're just in a room agreeing that Trump good, Biden bad. We need to have some friction. We need to disagree. I think that's how we actually change people's minds, just like Charlie Kirk did. He did it by having debates. So we could do a show where we just all agree, but I don't like that. That's why I had Brian Shapiro call in because he's a leftist and I want to bring on people that I disagree with and try to find some common ground because at the end of the day, most people are probably with like a populist government. And Donald Trump is a populist president. And that's why he did so well in this last election, because the people that don't really have a political home, they can be politically homeless under this populist movement and feel like they're doing the right thing. And Donald Trump represents that better than any candidate that we've had ever, in my opinion. So I think Donald Trump, when it comes to the populist movement, he's been a force for good. But really and truly, it's our job to hold him accountable. So that's why I'm going to sit here and I'm going to critique some of the stuff that Trump does, only because a good football coach that wants to help a good player, that's when you give him the most attention. You ignore the bad players because you don't care about them actually helping you win the game. And I know Donald Trump's the best player we got, so I'm going to give him all the attention that I have. All right, coming up next, we're going to get into all that. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
The amount of U.S. military hardware in the region right now is impressive and imposing, including dozens of F-15s, F-35s, AWACS, KC-135s, cargo planes loaded with military equipment, and much, much more. In fact, the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier strike group passed through the Strait of Gibraltar at the mouth of the Mediterranean, obviously letting everybody know the big guns are on hand.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Have you walked past a window lately and actually felt cold air or noticed a room that just never seems to warm up? Hi, I'm Brad Barton. It's not just the weather. It's your old windows and doors letting warm air out and cold air in. It forces your furnace to work overtime, generating higher and higher energy bills instead of comfort. That's why so many homeowners call Clarity Windows and Doors. Their energy-efficient replacement windows and doors will keep your home warmer, quieter, and more comfortable all year round. And right now, Clarity has stackable deals to make your upgrade easier than ever. Buy one window at the regular low price, get the next one 40% off, plus 20% off all doors. And with great financing, you can upgrade now without a big upfront cost. Locally owned, 10-time Consumer's Choice Award winner with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. These are great people. Book your free in-home consultation and get a quote from Clarity Windows and Doors. Call 972-393-3991 or visit ClarityWindows.com. Timeless beauty, savings, and comfort that lasts.
Bring clarity to your home. Clarity Windows and Doors.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you want to move. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can bypass the market, receive the strongest cash offer in the industry, and close in as little as 21 days. Trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home fast and for maximum value. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Are you ready for more? Hello, it's Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And when you shop with Freeman Toyota, you get 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus 3 years of complimentary tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with every new Freeman Toyota. 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like I said, you get a lot more, and you won't pay a dime for it. Come see us at 183 and 820 or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
Every patient at Men's Edge Medical is different, but they all have one thing in common. Their performance has diminished. Men's Edge Medical will target one of the many reasons you may be suffering and customize a solution that is suited specifically for you. Here's patient counselor Raul Garza.
Men's Edge Medical is now open on Saturday at our brand new easy-to-get-to location. Call 972-996-0900 for directions and to schedule your confidential evaluation. 972-996-0900.
Men's Edge Medical helps men change their lives every day and achieve greater intimacy with their wives. Patients always say they wish they had called sooner. Call 972-996-0900 for your confidential appointment today. 972-996-0900.
Men's Edge Medical will get your edge back. So call or go to mensedgemedical.com. That's mensedgemedical.com.
No longer have a radio at home? No worries. Just say, Alexa or Google Home, play WBAP. You'll get the latest news, traffic, and weather to make your day a little brighter by keeping connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Guys, you know what you're listening to. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. And our next guest, she is a political commentator, and she's going to help us make sense of what's going on. Let's welcome on the one, the only, Raven Harrison. Raven, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening.
Raven, what's going on in the world today? I mean, with Donald Trump and these tariffs, we're about to start a war with Iran. And I love Trump, but, you know, a lot of people are struggling financially. A lot of people are addicted to fentanyl. I don't know if starting a war really helps the American people other than the military-industrial complex. So what's your opinion on everything?
Well, I don't think wars help anything, but we got to get the adults back in charge, is my opinion. We have utter chaos going on. I feel like what happened with the Supreme Court, what we've got going on with the Democrats, the explosion of the Epstein files that they begged for and now are backpedaling. We just have, you know, the inmates ruling the asylum. And that's why we have chaos. We got to take them one at a time and just start knocking these out, starting with getting the frozen king off of the committees that are holding up the SAVE Act. and part of the agenda the American people voted for.
Raven, you're exactly right. And that's the problem with Trump and his first administration. And now this administration, the people that he put in power, I don't think all of them have Trump's best interests. And I think that I'm calling out Howard Lutnick, a guy that was on the Epstein files, lied about that. And I'm not saying that he doesn't care about the American people, but I just feel like it's the same story over and over again, that Donald Trump wants to do it, but there's people that are holding him back. So what do you think about that? I mean, is there any truth to that?
Well, of course. I mean, it's the same usual cast of bad actors we have every time. I mean, and you know that we've gotten to a point now where whenever one of these agendas fail, like the SAVE Act or the big beautiful bill or things that we put up, we always know the same 5 cast of merry band of communists who always we can look at and go, yep, it's these, it's Collins, it's Murkowski, we always know who it is. So again, until we start eliminating the dry rot that we have in our government, we're going to keep getting the same result. It's become a really ridiculous nursing home for failed human beings.
But Raven, you're right, but it's so dumb. I gotta show an ID to go into a bar. I gotta show an ID to buy tobacco. I have to show an ID to basically operate, get on an airplane. I get pulled over. I gotta show an ID. But the only time you don't have to show an ID in these liberal places is to go vote. I mean, I don't understand how they can look us with a straight face and tell us that it's racist to have voter ID, or it will hurt American infrastructure. It'll hurt our country. I just do not understand their argument in the SAVE Act getting shot down. I just do not understand how they justify it.
Well, you can look at it, because if they didn't have a double standard, they wouldn't have any at all. And that's what you're seeing. Did you actually see today that Mandami is requiring 2 forms of ID to shovel snow?
Yeah, I did see that.
You have to have an ID to shovel snow in New York City. It is harder to shovel snow than it is to vote. And that's what it wants. I mean, ultimately, I'm fortunate my dad is with me now, and used to always say, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. But at the end of the day, these people are hoping that we aren't looking at these clips of everything that we've said, everything that the Democrats are obstructing and arguing and protesting against, they had once supported. They were first for closing the border. And now that they realize they have a voter class from that, they don't want it anymore. They were once for ID and proof of citizenship. And now that they need it for votes, they're not against it for it anymore. I actually came across a clip of Nancy Pelosi from 30 years ago, not only dogging on China for their tariffs, but demanding that we have reciprocal tariffs on it. Now it's racist. So the difference for the Democrats, for them, a flip-flop is usually about a decade. But
no, you're
at
right.
At some point, they're going to flip.
But what's even more egregious is that you have people like Hillary Clinton, who was opposed to gay marriage when she was campaigning 30 years ago. So it's so funny how everything changes. Even Barack Obama, he deported more people than President Trump. So it's just like we are facilitating an invasion in our country to make the American people's voting power just disappear overnight. And it's happening. That's not a conspiracy. I know a lot of people will say that great replacement therapy or great replacement theory is some sort of right-wing conspiracy. But you're seeing with all the H-1B visa fraud, the Somali daycares, I mean, I don't think that's a conspiracy at all.
Well, it's not a conspiracy. The problem that we have is we have a follow-through problem. Yes, we know all this. We are stuck in the they cheated phase and not in the handcuff palooza and the perp walk phase. That's what our problem is. Until these people start going to jail, we have more than an Everest amount of proof on Omar. Why is she still here?
I know, she had that wine business. That was a scam. Now she's a multi-millionaire, and she's allegedly married her brother. I think that she would be a slam dunk case for, getting rid of somebody that's actually breaking the law. So listen, I appreciate you calling in, Raven. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Raven.
Looking forward to it.
All right, guys, you're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you want to move. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Ernie Brown. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the uncertainty of a traditional home sale and sell your home fast for all cash in as little as 21 days. For 30 years, Mark Spain Real Estate has been serving families just like yours and has helped over 72,000 satisfied clients. You can trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Go to markspain.com and start packing.
Here's automotive expert and nationally syndicated talk show host Jerry Reynolds.
Ford Truck Month is in full swing at the Ford DFW 5-star Ford dealerships, and as everybody knows, nobody does Truck Month like Sam Pack. The best truck and SUV deals of the year happen during Truck Month, and the best buys go first. Here's just one typical example. Listen closely. A new 2025 F-150 XLT Crew Cab 4x4 with a total MSRP of over $66,000. It's yours for $52,988 after discounts and rebates. And get this, even with over $13,000 in total savings, you get 3.9% APR for 72 months with approved credit from Ford Credit. There are plenty more amazing deals right now at 5-Star Ford in Carrollton, North Richland Hills, Louisville, or Dallas. SamPack.com.
Taking care of business.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Depend on DFW's largest radio news team to keep you connected.
News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP. And we got our next guest, Dylan from Charlotte. Dylan, how you doing on this Saturday night, my friend?
Doing amazing, prime time. How you doing, my man?
Well, we only got a short time to talk to you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about the Iran bombing, especially because you just released that very critical information about potentially it being as soon as Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do you think that sort of like what Trump did with the alien files that were getting declassified, do you think this could? I mean, obviously we're going to war with Iran for Israel's purpose, but do you think the timing could be along with how the Epstein files?
Oh, 100%. This is all a smoke screen. We're about to go drop bombs on Iran, and they want us talking about aliens. But you know what? I'm happy. I want those alien files released, but I think it's 100% a distraction. I mean, isn't that obvious? I mean, I don't think it takes an expert, a political expert, to realize that.
Yeah, I would agree totally. I would even take it one step further. As you probably know, if you read these files, Trump himself, he's not implicated as much as people like to say he is.
Nope.
But there's huge people like Leon Black and Ronald Lauder.
Yeah.
And their sons and son-in-law are in the administration, and I just don't know how nobody's talking about that stuff.
Well, Howard Lutnick's like his right-hand man, and he's all over the Epstein files, and we caught him lying about it, and he's not going to worry about his job getting fired. And all these other people are getting fired, and Prince Andrew's getting arrested. I don't understand why we have a two-tier justice system where we're going to arrest the prince, but we're not going to arrest the people in Trump's administration that were on these files.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. It like you're saying, it's just like a huge psyop. I don't know what to really focus on. Another big thing. Everybody's talking about these Epstein files, but another thing Trump ran on, not only releasing the Epstein files, JFK and MLK files, but the 9/11 files.
I know. Hey,
talking about that as well.
I want the 9/11 files so bad. I really do not think Trump's going to do that unless we need another distraction. But it's just so obvious that even the official story Condoleezza Rice and George Bush were both briefed that Osama bin Laden, a guy in a cave in Afghanistan, wanted to fly planes into buildings. And apparently George Bush and Dick Cheney got to do a private congressional testimony. And they just said, oopsie poopsie, we made a mistake. But I want to hear the truth. Well, thank you for calling in, Dylan. All right, guys, you're listening to News Talk 820 and WBAP. But we're coming up. We got the legend himself, Anthony Cumia. Can't wait to hear what he's got to say about what's going on. Thank you for listening.
The buildup of our military forces in the Middle East. How soon could President Trump take action? That's at 7:17.
And North Texas getting ready for the big FIFA World Cup this summer. But how ready will the area really be to host that many people? We're going to have that for you at 8:17.
I'm Ernie Brown.
I'm Carla Marion.
Monty Cook has your news headlines at the top and bottom of each hour. Julie DeHarty has your traffic. And Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton has your weather on the ones. Plus Hal J has the laughs.
Monday morning, 5 till 9 on WBAP's Morning News on your Texas voice for common sense. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Fox News, I'm Carmen Roberts. Iran's on the clock as the U.S. builds its military forces in the region, and President Trump gives Tehran just days to make a nuclear deal or face the consequences.
They better negotiate a fair deal.
Right now, there's roughly 3 times the amount of air power assembled in the Middle East or in Europe compared to Operation Midnight Hammer over the summer, and President Trump is threatening to unleash it on Iran if it doesn't make a deal.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. A historic blizzard is targeting tens of millions of people in the Northeast this weekend.
How much snow are we talking about? 12 to 18 inches. The wind is going to be as big of a concern as anything with this 50, 60 mile an hour winds. That wipes out visibility. That's what causes a blizzard.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz. Amtrak's already announced changes to its schedule, and airlines are expected to do the same. America's listening to Fox News.
For WBAP, I'm WFAA meteorologist Jesse Hawila. Clear and cold tonight with a low of 38. A little bit breezy at times. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high around 60 degrees. And still cool on Monday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 59.
News and talk are in our name, DFW. Your voice for common sense.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Thank you guys for listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP, and it's Saturday night, and the feeling is all right. I know it sounds scary, about to go to war with Iran, and now Trump's tariffs are all in a, kerfuffle, but I still think that we need to have a little gratitude. I'm so lucky to be here speaking with you guys, and I'm lucky to have a lot of friends in this business that have been legends, been icons, Bubba the Love Sponge, but this guy, do we have Anthony on? I think we're calling him right now. Our next guest, his name's Anthony Cumia, and if you don't know who Anthony Cumia is, then you do not know the best broadcaster to ever freaking talk into a microphone. And I'm not just kissing his derriere, but I grew up a big Howard Stern fan, and Anthony was Howard Stern's number one enemy, basically. I mean, it was really dumb, but let's welcome on Anthony. Are you there? Well, I think he's about to be on. Guys, this legend, and I don't want to kiss his butt too much, but he's one of the most talented broadcasters when it comes to impressions, probably one of the fastest improvisational guys in the world. All right, let's welcome on Anthony Cumia. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us this evening. How are you doing, brother?
Alex, buddy, how you doing, man? I am so psyched to see someone else that I know actually on airwaves on actual radio. I do, WABC out of New York. You're doing WBAP, and everyone else I know has a podcast. But that's a great thing. There aren't enough podcasts out there right now.
There's definitely not enough. Well, Anthony, I mean, you have been an icon, and I was just saying it was so funny because you know why I started listening to Opie and Anthony and I got addicted to it is that Howard used to make fun of you guys, but then I was like, let me turn it on. And Anthony, you are 10 times the broadcaster that Howard was, and Howard's great. I'm not saying that he's not good on the radio, but you are so good. I'm saying you're so good at impressions. You can do anybody. Your Dice Clay I think your Dice Clay is better than Dice Clay. So I'm honored to be able to talk to you.
Wait, are you trying to kiss my ass over here?
What? Well, Anthony, I got to cut you off. I'm in trouble too. Because I like Opie. Everybody makes fun of me because I like Opie, but I think Opie's an okay guy. He made some definitely fatal errors after he left. But I think that the combination of you two guys together, there will never be a radio show that has that same sort of energy and chemistry. So as much as we make fun of Opie, really you, Jim, and Opie were the top. You guys were the best of the best, especially if you had in Patrice. So I just want to give credit where credit's due. That's why I like Opie.
I would never deny that, man. It was the perfect time, perfect place. Anytime I hear like a Nickelback song or one of those old 90s songs, it brings me right back to the old O&A show. They're great memories. I really don't hold any animosity toward anybody from the old days. I mean, we all made it through this radio business thing, and it was insane and fun as hell. And I'm still, having a great time, man.
Well, and people might not realize, guys, Anthony, he was like the last of the multi-million-dollar contracts. So really, he kind of got out at the right time. Now, if I'm not going to call out WBAP, but they don't pay me very much to come on here. But I would do it.
Back on radio too, dude.
I know, WABC.
Looking for a job.
Yeah.
And they gave me a job.
But Anthony, you're so talented. You really deserve to be the number one radio guy in any market. And I don't want to just keep kissing your butt. Okay, but what do you think about this war with Iran? I know you probably don't like it, but at the same time, I don't really care if we got to blow up a few terrorists. But I just hate starting all these unnecessary wars.
I don't really care unless it's one of these protracted, years-long wars. I like a good operation.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good name. Bastard Submit, Operation Bastard Submit, or something like that, where it's overnight, it's quick, go into Venezuela, grab their president. I don't mind that. If it's 10 years of watching our young people being sacrificed for God knows what, and you know what I mean by that.
I know exactly what you mean.
I'm not into that at all. Quick operations, you blow up a terrorist, we get to go for a while. I don't really mind that all that much.
No, me neither. And I think of what we did with when it comes to Maduro, we basically teleported him out of there. Now, I want to ask your opinion on this. I thought Huckabee did okay. Were you able to watch any of the Tucker and Huckabee debate?
Yeah.
What did you think? Balls and strikes, what did you think?
The right, the mainstream media type right, and even Tucker's in there now, even though he's a wild rebel that's on his own, no more Fox News anchor. He's still really just this typical right-wing nonsense. It's safe. He thinks he's out there like really doing something that is super critical of mainstream media. He's doing safe right-wing stuff. So it's kind of dull, if you really ask me.
Well, it's funny you say that, Anthony, because, he had Nick Fuentes on, and you and I, it's controversial for us to say this, but Nick's a talented broadcaster. And then Nick is very talented, but then Nick did went after Tucker. So now Tucker doesn't want to lean into those controversial guests. And I think that's a huge mistake. I think Tucker needs to, they say call it platforming, but I call it interviewing people that you disagree with. I think that's the best kind of content. So in your opinion, how do we make this content better? Because I'm sick of just everybody in a room agreeing Trump's good, Biden bad. It's boring.
Yeah, it really has gotten boring. I like a little conflict. I like people with different ideology. We've divvied up into these two teams, and you want to stay under the bubble of your team. It's boring. It's not, it doesn't do anything to help the situation or get the word out that there's issues that need to be dealt with. And I'd rather see people not just adhering to this party line. And that's what a lot of these people, and look, a lot of people are making a lot of money just adhering to the party line. but you're not really putting anything new out there.
Well, and that's what was so great about the Opie and Anthony show is that you and Patrice would argue, but it was a fun argument. I mean, you guys were friends, and it felt good. It seemed like that we weren't just in a room agreeing, and then Jim had some sort of crazy opinion. Like, that's what we need to bring back. We need to bring basically a collective of different opinions together, not the View just sitting there and being like, oh, well, you saw Whoopi's on the Epstein list, and then Epstein wouldn't let her use the plane. Could you imagine how horny Epstein was if he would have actually banged Whoopi Goldberg? I mean, I don't think anybody could bang Whoopi Goldberg.
Dude, the hypocrisy. Not that we needed this definitive moment to show that the View and the lovely ladies of the View are hypocritical, but bashing Trump, any allegation, no matter how insane that came out about Trump on the Epstein list, they jumped on it like it was gospel. 100% fact. Then it turns out Whoopi and Joy Behar are on this Epstein file list. And then it's like, hey, it doesn't mean you did anything. I was just looking for a free ride on his plane. Oh, I went to dinner or a party. But Trump obviously committed these heinous crimes against humanity. It's so blatantly, obviously hypocritical. And I don't know who these zombies are that buy into this on a daily basis.
Well, there's a lot of us zombies out there. Everybody, half the people are on fentanyl. The other half of people are just on medical marijuana. People don't even really, they're so disconnected with reality. They don't care. Okay. Last thing I want to ask you, Trump is talking about this alien, the alien files. What do you think? What's with all that?
No, I don't think. I would love to believe that. And younger Anthony would have been fixated on this. But I think we're in an age where information is so readily available. No one keeps their yap shut. If someone could get a minute of attention, they will do it. And if that was the actual case, we would know about it definitively. I don't think there's some alien sitting somewhere.
No, I think you're exactly right. Well, guys, Anthony, you're on WABC. I think it's the oldest radio station in New York. Am I correct?
Yes, and some of the oldest personalities. That's why.
Well, WBA. The reason I say that, WBAP is one of the oldest stations in Texas, so at least we're on legacy stations.
I guess. It. Yes, Sunday, tomorrow night, 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern time on WABC 77 Radio, New York.
And Anthony, this is another thing I want to say. I got to kiss your butt before you go. Not only are you a great broadcaster, but you have a great eye for talent. I know your guy Michael Malice was just on. He's just on Rogan. You basically discovered Michael. You discovered and Luis Gomez. All of those guys. You basically got them into podcasting. So you have an eye for talent. So you just being my friend, it makes me feel like I'm a part of the club. And I'm not talking about one of the Epstein club. I'm talking about a club of broadcasters that I respect. So, Anthony, before you go, how can people find you and support you, my friend?
Yeah, easy enough. Anthony Cumia on X and Compound Media on YouTube. Alex, man, I'm so proud of you. I've watched you since you were a little fledgling piece of garbage.
Still am.
Now you're a giant piece of garbage. And I love you, bud. I love you, buddy.
No, I love you. And everybody go follow Anthony's Twitter account. I know I've been very complimentary, but his Twitter account is the funniest Twitter account because nobody's faster and sharper. And I like Gavin McInnes, but nobody is as sharp as Anthony Cumia when it comes to just zingers and digs and perspective. Everybody needs to go follow Anthony. Well, thank you so much for calling in and making time. Well, guys, man, it's so great to have people like Anthony come on because he's a real deal broadcaster. He's not one of these phony baloney guys that have no idea what they're doing. He was on top, #1 in multiple markets, and he is an expert when it comes to just basically entertaining you while also giving you information, kind of making you think. And I think that's what makes a good broadcaster, not one that's just going to feed you what you want to hear. Anthony's willing to actually step outside that box, outside the Trump box, outside the conservative box, and tell you how he really feels. And that's why I want to emulate the success and just the broadcasting skills of Anthony Cumia. But even if I talk on this mic for 1,000 hours, I'm not going to be as good as Anthony. But maybe if I'm just half as good, I'll still be successful because Anthony's got it like that, and he is one of the best to ever do it. So thank you so much to Anthony Cumia for calling in. When we get back after the break, we're going to dive deep into all these Huckabee Tucker clips. They were fighting, and we're also going to take your calls. So if you guys want to call in, the number is 1-800-288 2880, so excuse me, 288-9227. I don't even know the number. It's Saturday night. I'm too excited about Anthony Cumia. Coming up next.
Breaking news. You never know when it'll happen. Whenever it happens, wherever it happens, you'll hear it here.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court absolutely ashamed for not having the courage to do what's right for our country.
Any attack by the United States, limited or not, would cause them to unleash their vast missile arsenal at U.S. bases vulnerable to attack in Qatar.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Don't let cold weather catch you unprepared. Trust factory certified technicians at your new car and truck dealer service department to make sure your vehicle operates safely all winter long. Find a dealer near you at mtxad.com.
Tune into the Financial Hour presented by DeWitt and Dunn Financial Services, Sundays at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Your host, Kathy DeWitt Dunn, has the most up-to-date info you need for your financial success.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Listen, if you're losing your hair and you want a simple solution that's guaranteed to work, guys, you need advanced hair. Top-rated physicians, modern technology, and your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, guaranteed. And if you do schedule your free consultation, you get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 469-599-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
I'm going to say it twice. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with your host, Prime Time, Alex Stein. It's Saturday night, and the phone lines are packed, but I just got word from my producer. One of my friends just called in. Let's put on Monograph. Monograph, are you there, my friend?
Yes, I'm here. How you doing, buddy? What's
Dude,
going on?
Thank you so much for calling. Now, for the people that don't know, Monograph is one of the old school OGs when it comes to YouTube. He's got a big audience, but this guy helped me out. One of the first times that my chat was ever rated, he brought in 1,000 people. My chat went nuts. So I owe you, Monograph, forever for that. That was one of my favorite YouTube moments I've ever had. But what do you think is going on with Trump and all this garbage, the tariffs? I mean, are you sick and tired of it? And what do you think we should do as the American people?
Well, I think the tariffs are. I think they're a great thing for America. I think they are. I think America should set any amount of tariff we damn well want to. And for the people that don't know, that's how World War II started. Is because the United States put a big tariff on Japan on their steel, and they got pissed off, so they attacked Pearl Harbor. That's a true story. That's what happened. And who were the victors on that one?
Yeah,
America was.
Well, you know,
because we went in there and showed Germany how to do things, and we showed Japan too.
Well, Monty, we can talk all day long, but now that I have you, actually, I want to talk about something that's so important to me.
Did you get your cup?
Well, I don't know.
Get your cup?
I don't think I have it. You mailed it to my office, right? I don't think I got the cup yet, unless what happens
delivered.
Okay, well, this is the problem. At my building, all the mail goes to my landlord, so I got to get it from my landlord. So I will on Monday, I will get it. He doesn't work on the weekend, so I'm sure he has it. But if it was a package, usually they leave the packages at my door, but I guarantee it's in my landlord's office. But let's talk about drama real quick, because, Monty, you had a famous lawsuit, a guy that, defamed you, in my opinion, Nick Rekieta and his dog, Sonny. Did you see that he went on vacation and his dog died? That made me absolutely sick, and I don't know how much we really need to talk about Nick, but to me, to hurt a dog, even if he accidentally did it, he put it in the care of somebody that let it get hurt. It supposedly got rat poison.
It's very bad.
He's an evil person. And I hate to say it, but I really think that you saw the grooming, what he did with April Imolti. Now he's getting involved with all these other women that are very morally loose, just like him. And what I think is the biggest problem with Nick, and we don't have to talk about him the whole time, but what he does to his poor wife, Kayla. So you were one of the first people that realized how bad of a person Nick Rekieta is.
Well, see, I mean, now that I can talk about it freely, that lawsuit is over. I had to basically withdraw the lawsuit because it's just too expensive.
I had one like that with AOC for blocking me on Twitter. It just got so expensive, it just wasn't even worth it, and I wasn't going to get anything on the back end. Yeah.
Exactly. But the fact of the matter is he made false claims, false accusations, and I'm not the guy you're going to be pushing around online.
No way.
I mean, I've doxed 491 people myself and maybe another guy. The most people than all of Anonymous put together. And I'm not joking. So I don't.
Monty's not joking, guys. Monty, I'm
not joking.
No, somebody will hit me at a protest, and all of a sudden, Monty will have the information of the guy that assaulted me. I don't know how you do it, but you can find anybody. Are you using AI? How are you able to find all these people?
No. I'm not going to give you my sources. It's
all
just that. You know, when you go up against these governors and mayors, how many times I've tried to give you governors' phone numbers?
You've given me every one. Too many. But then I'm afraid to call them, and they're going to say I'm threatening them or whatever. I mean, I don't even want to talk to them. I want to talk to them in person on camera so they can't misrepresent what we're doing. Okay.
I tell you what. I got Pam Bondi's cell number. Would you call it if you had it?
Yes. Text me her number 100%. We're going to call Pam Bondi. If you got her cell phone number, I would call her. I mean, I'll probably go to jail. But yes.
Dan Bongino's, or what's the guy's?
Bongino. Oh my gosh. Well, I think Bongino might have phone number too. Well, I might have to be careful about Bongino. I think he's got a show on our network. But listen, I'll call Pam Bondi right now. And actually, call me after the show. I want to talk to you about Pam Bondi because I think that would be great for somebody to call her. And
well, you got to be careful, though. You got to be careful because she's got a lot on her plate right now. It's probably not a good time to call her.
You're right. But the Dow went under 50. The Dow went under 50,000. I'm sure she's sweating bullets. And then, what do you think about this Epstein list, Monty? Do you think it's all a distraction?
There was like an informant that gave the.
Oh well, we hit the dumb button. Are you there, Monty? I guess we dropped. Oh, are you there?
Nobody's going to jail.
Monty, you said the S word. We had to dump it real quick, so I didn't hear your last 8 seconds. But no, it's cool. Don't worry. My producer got it. He's sharp.
No.
Don't worry about it, Monty. Hey, listen, you're shot out of a cannon. We're just happy to have you on the air. It happens. But we've been known about this.
I understand.
Well, I'm saying I've known about this since 2015, before Trump was president, that they were doing weird stuff on airplanes and all this weird pizza talk and all this coded language. So why is it now all of a sudden coming out, in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's a time marker. In other words, they know that nobody's going to jail. They know that nobody's going to jail for this, but this is like a time marker to get something else done. This is a pacification. They know that they're not going to prosecute anybody. They know that they go into these things called congressional hearings, knowing damn good well nobody's going to jail. Nobody's going to be indicted. No one's going to trial. So why would you give the public all of this mess to go through? It's called distraction for something much, much bigger, in my opinion.
No, I think you are right that it's a distraction, but I would have never thought that they would have actually arrested Prince Andrew. I was so shocked that he actually got arrested. I'm sure he'll get a sweetheart deal, probably never have to go to jail, and it's more of just a humiliation ritual for him. But that really shocked me. What did you think about him getting arrested?
Him being arrested is for his own safety. That's why I believe they arrested him, for his own safety.
Elaborate on that.
Look, whether you believe me or not, Donald Trump is wrapped up in this Epstein stuff, whether you believe me or not.
Well, his friends we know are all in it. So, I mean, so he is wrapped up in it.
He didn't need it. Look, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I developed a technique back in 2006 on how to, in other words, make yourself ghost from any cell phone in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I used to work telecommunications for 21 years as a programmer and as an installer. So Maxine, she was using my technology to shield herself from federal, people sneaking around trying to follow her. through her cell phone. And I swear, I'm not lying. You wrap your telephone up in tinfoil. That's my invention, for real.
Well,
Okay?
yeah, what do they call it? A Faraday cage now is what people use.
Yeah, it's a temporary. Yes, it's a temporary Faraday cage. You got to crumple up the tinfoil and you wrap up your cell phone a couple of times, and the cell signal can't get out and it can't come in.
Well, I saw
but you still receive text messages and stuff.
But I saw one where they said even if you have a phone where you can take out the battery, that the CIA can still find you and listen to you. Even
Absolutely. Yes, it's called RFID. So that's radio frequency identification, and that happens with products. It happens with your clothes. Every way now they're identifying you through your gait, and biometrics is going to be the next biggest thing with artificial intelligence.
Well, okay.
So everything about your biometrics will be you. In other words, this password garbage is going away. I'm thinking in probably 2 years or less.
Wow, that's really soon. Well, we only got you for another minute, but then tell me, if we got all this tech, we got all these RFID chips, why can't we find Nancy Guthrie?
They know where that woman's at. They knew the first hour when it was reported. But you know what? Your theory about that with the Clinton and all that stuff, that's a very good point that you make about that.
I definitely think there's some sort of connection. Just the fact that Savannah's husband, Michael Feldman, was in the Clinton administration, and this all happens right when the Epstein files are released. And then on top of all of this, I think the smoking gun, and I still need more evidence, the fact that Savannah Guthrie was one of the only ones that had the cojones to actually interview one of Epstein's victims. I feel like they're sending a message because they don't want her to go on the Today Show and constantly talk about this. And now she's lost her job to Hoda, basically. Hoda's taken over her spot, and Hoda doesn't want to relinquish it. So I feel bad. Savannah Guthrie's not going to be on the Today Show, it's looking like.
Oh, well.
Yeah, oh, well, I
Things
guess.
happen.
Yeah, the world's smallest violin. Well, Monty, before you go, how can people find you and support you?
You know what? I'm just a guy. I'm a guy that you know, and that's all people need to know. That's it.
I love it. I love it, Monty. Hey, I'll take it. I love it. A guy that wants to be a little incognito. But if you guys want to find Monty, he's online. He's it's just like how he can find people, you can find Monty. Well, thank you for calling so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all the help you've given me in this business. I really appreciate it. I'll never forget the help you gave me when I first started out. All right, folks, guys, coming up next, we're going to get to some more of your calls. The number's 1-800-288-9227. But I got to get to some clips of Mike Huckabee and Tucker Carlson facing off in Tel Aviv, Israel. And I think that, I'm a Tucker fan, but I'm just being honest. I think Huckabee handled himself pretty well. There were some times where Huckabee kind of looked dumb, but there was other times where Huckabee looked, cool as a cucumber. So we're going to play those clips. You don't want to miss it because it was spicy. I mean, I really enjoyed the way Tucker was pressing him, and I really enjoyed the back and forth that Huckabee was giving him these non-answers, these politically correct answers. So it was like two heavyweights fighting, and a good fight is not where one just beats the other one up. You like some back and forth. And I think that's what separates this interview than most interviews, is that there was some kickback. There wasn't just, Trump is good and we're just going to agree because we're both, are on the same political side. I'm sick and tired of that. I want hard conversations where people disagree, and then we can be the judge. We can make the decision for ourselves instead of being told how to feel and what to think. We can just watch it happen in real time and then make a decision from the evidence that is presented. And that's how we should do things. That's how we should watch content. We shouldn't just watch this stuff in a vacuum, learning nothing. And I learned a lot. I actually learned about some of the issues that Israel is, doing, and Mike Huckabee explained it pretty well. And then I also learned a lot from Tucker just by him asking the hard questions, and we're going to play a clip where Mike Huckabee was a little insensitive about the death of 14-year-olds. But then I thought Mike Huckabee had a good point, saying that if your kid was kidnapped by a 14-year-old, you would probably go and bomb that 14-year-old. So I know it is a very confusing thing, and it's hard to kind of pick sides when it comes to this because there's a pro-Israel crowd, there's an anti-Israel crowd on the right now. But I'll tell you this much. We can criticize Israel's government. It's not all Israel's fault. I know a lot of people like to blame everything on Israel, and I think that is overkill. We can critique some of Israel's government, but we really need to hold America's government accountable because our government is the most powerful and way more powerful than Israel. But a lot of people will tell you that's not true. Well, let me tell you something. America is the most powerful country on earth. We control the biggest military. We have the biggest military budget. So we are the big daddy in the situation, and Israel's just like our stepson. And you got to protect your stepson. So we're going to get all of that on the show coming up next. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast. on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
You're an expert in media and marketing, and you know how to close with a strong desire to win. Cumulus Media Dallas is hiring fearless hunters who can build new business and drive real results. You'll sell our powerhouse brands, The Ticket, The Wolf, and New Country 96.3, WBAP, KLIF, plus OTT, digital, social, and live events across 400 plus stations nationwide. If you have a media and digital background, the commitment and drive to win, this job is for you. Apply now at cumulusmedia.com/jobs. Cumulus Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Tune into the Financial Hour presented by DeWitt and Dunn Financial Services, Sundays at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Your host, Kathy DeWitt Dunn, has the most up-to-date info you need for your financial success.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you want to move. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Halton City, Dallas, Fort Worth. And KPLX HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Trump ups the tariff ante. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. After a major Supreme Court setback on Friday, President Trump signed an order to impose sweeping 10% tariffs on every country. And less than 24 hours later, he raised the stakes.
He's raising the 10% worldwide tariff on countries to what he called the fully allowed and legally tested 15% level. The administration will also be conducting investigations using another authority that opens the door for tariffs on countries that engage in unfair trading practices.
Fox's Madeline Rivera reports that Section 122 allows for tariffs for up to 150 days.
The president clearly defiant, despite the Supreme Court's 6-3 decision that he exceeded his power by imposing duties under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act.
Critics say President Trump is pushing the U.S. to the brink of war with Iran as he warns Tehran it must make a good nuclear deal or suffer the consequences.
They better negotiate a fair deal.
Right now, there's about 3 times the amount of air power assembled in the Middle East or heading there compared to Operation Midnight Hammer over the summer. And President Trump is considering unleashing it on Iran unless that country comes to an agreement with the United States.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. A powerful nor'easter is just hours away from creating havoc in the Northeast, expected to dump 12 to 18 inches of snow on cities including Boston and New York and other areas. New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani with this warning.
New Yorkers can expect that Monday morning commute will be extremely hazardous, with heavy snowfall and peak winds coinciding to create slippery conditions and greatly reduced visibility.
And in California, crews recovered the bodies of 9 backcountry skiers killed in an avalanche 4 days ago. The search team found the 8 victims near Lake Tahoe, and they also found the body of the 9th person missing and presumed dead. America's listening to Fox News.
For WBAP, I'm WFAA meteorologist Jesse Hawila. Clear and chilly tonight with a low of 38 degrees. It'll be breezy at times. On Sunday, mostly sunny with a high around 60. Monday, still cool. It's been a while since we've been cool this February, but we'll have sunshine with a high 59.
Breaking news. You never know when it'll happen. Whenever it happens, wherever it happens, you'll hear it here.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country.
any attack by the United States, limited or not, would cause them to unleash their vast missile arsenal at U.S. bases vulnerable to attack in Qatar.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Dan Bongino returns.
It's real. You better produce something fast.
And he's not holding back.
Dan, that's backwards. No, I'm telling you the truth.
Hard truths and a bold perspective no one else can offer.
You may not hear this anywhere else. I'm always under the assumption that you're being played, we're being played. Man, this show continues to expand its footprint. I love you guys for it.
It's the comeback everyone's been waiting for.
If there was ever a time, it is this one.
The Dan Bongino Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Tune into the Financial Hour presented by DeWitt and Dunn Financial Services. Sundays at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Your host, Kathy DeWitt Dunn, has the most up-to-date info you need for your financial success.
Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and respect. A firm backed by a track record of success and commitment to our clients. If you've been injured, trust Thomas J. Henry, San Antonio, Dallas, Texas.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Now just think about this for a second. 40,000 people. That's not a crowd. That's a small city. And it's the number of people who've decided they're done living with joint pain and they're doing something about it without surgery. 40,000 people who said, hold on, before you replace my knee, before you replace my hip, before I put my life on pause for months, there has to be another option. And they found it at QC Kinetics, the nationwide leader in regenerative treatments that help restore and support joint tissue naturally. Hi, it's Ernie Brown. You know, surgery is not your only path forward, thanks to QC Kinetics and their advanced non-surgical treatments, because the truth is surgery isn't always the answer. QC Kinetics is right here in DFW offering safe, natural, science-backed treatments that work with your body's own healing power. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. Don't wait. 40,000 people can't all be wrong. Set up a free consultation with QC Kinetics. 972-972-8610. That's 972-972-8610. 972-972-8610.
You guys are listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with your host Primetime Alex Stein. And I want to get to these clips because Mike Huckabee and Tucker Carlson sat down in Tel Aviv, Israel for a heated conversation about what is going on when it comes to the geopolitical relationship of Israel and America. Now, I know a lot of our fans, some are pro-Israel, some are, not so much, to say the least. But I think that Israel is our biggest ally. And yes, they get us into some conflicts that are probably not beneficial to the American people and is more beneficial to their country that I disagree with. I think at the end of the day, we need to have a friendly relationship with our allies. That is important, even Canada. And I know that these Canadians are, nuttier than squirrel poop, but still, they're still our friends. They're still our allies. I still want to be friends with them because I think that, you got to get along with these people. We're able to make deals. We're able to just facilitate and operate much easier when we're doing it in a friendly manner instead of an adversarial manner. And that's the problem with China. That's the problem with Russia. If we were friends with these countries, it would probably benefit the American people. We probably wouldn't have a never-ending war in the Ukraine because we could just talk to Vladimir Putin and get this thing settled. But since we consider him an adversary, we're fighting a proxy war, basically. And that's not cool with me. I don't like proxy wars. I don't like cold wars. I don't like war. I'm anti-war. I know there's some people here that probably served in the military, and I support every single man and woman in uniform. But oftentimes I don't agree with the agenda when it comes to the military industrial complex, because they benefit from never ending wars. And the American people are the ones that are the people that have to foot the bill. We are the reason that this happens. Our tax dollars go to a budget that now has been up to $1.5 trillion. And Tucker Carlson doesn't like it. I don't like it. And that's why I agree with Tucker on so many issues. But in this clip, I got really frustrated because Mike Huckabee tries to insinuate that Israel's IDF is more humane when it comes to military conflicts than the United States military. And if you read the comment section of the clip I'm going to play, there's so many ex-military people that are arguing and saying, actually, in Afghanistan and Iraq, in both of those conflicts, they had to have so many precautions when it comes to civilian casualties. They weren't even allowed to shoot at them first. They had to shoot at the ground. There was just a multi-layered process that they had to go through in order to actually shoot a civilian. But if you look at Gaza, it looks like civilians are getting blown up for just going to the hospital. I mean, I've seen this. I've seen the footage where they drop a bomb on a hospital, and then when the people rush in to go help the victims of the bomb, they do what is called the double tap bomb, and they bomb them again. And I don't like watching that. That's hard.
The links that no other country, including ours, goes to in the middle of an urban war, and yet Israel ended up with fewer civilian deaths in an urban war than any urban war of record.
You said you didn't know how many civilian deaths there were, so how can you say that?
If you took Gaza's numbers, Hamas's numbers,
you don't know what those numbers are.
We don't.
You just told me that. Then how can you say it's a lower number?
But if you took the numbers that they reported, which is like 50,000, 25,000 of those were actual warriors. How many civilians? If you take all of
numbers range from 120 to 78, those ones I just read, I don't know if that's real. I don't know either. I'm asking you.
Yeah, and I'm telling you those numbers I've not heard or have not read. The numbers that I think are more reportable are somewhere in the 60,000 range.
Where do those
most numbers? Hamas's numbers, the Gaza Health Ministry, which is Hamas.
Valid numbers.
I think they are. I don't think that they're accurate, but I'm saying let's just
assume they're inaccurate, but they prove that Israel's doing a great job.
Let's assume that the most how many civilians, if you take widespread numbers, the largest numbers that have been reported out of Gaza by Hamas.
That's real.
Yes, let's assume they're true.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they are true, but assume they're true. Let's just take them at their word. I think are more. Then you still have a lower number of civilians killed in any urban warfare environment in modern history. I think they are. I don't think that they're.
Is that a fact? Yes. What are you comparing it to? They're inaccurate, but they prove that Israel's
doing any urban warfare.
Name one.
Iraq.
Where in
Afghanistan?
Iraq? Where in Iraq? Where in Afghanistan? There aren't many urban areas in Afghanistan. I don't think there was any fighting in urban areas in Afghanistan.
Kabul?
I don't know. Were there pitched battles in Kabul for long periods of time? I don't.
20 years. Take them at their
Kabul. I don't
throughout all of Afghanistan.
But what were those rates
of civilians?
There's no way
killed. And you're talking about what are the rates there? The number of people who were killed. Into the tens of thousands.
What are you comparing it to?
I'm asking you to.
I don't know the answer. I've never heard of any of this. You brought it up. You said the IDF has killed a lower proportion of civilians in urban warfare than in any urban conflict in modern history. I've never heard that before. I don't know what are the controls for that. And you said, well, the U.S. military killed more civilians.
Would you agree that the real tragedy was that Hamas continued to force this war?
How many civilians?
You just once again said that the IDF is more humane than the United States military. You just said that. You said in Iraq and Afghanistan, the U.S. military killed more civilians than the IDF did in Gaza. You just told me that. I never heard that before. Civilians. And my question is, how do you know that? What are those numbers?
Yeah, and I'm trying to explain to you that there were
what are
extraordinary efforts.
And you said, well,
would you agree that the numbers killed? I think there were tens of thousands. I'll get them for you. Tragedy.
Well, you brought it up. That's the only reason I'm pushing it.
But you
hold on. You just once again said that the IDF is more humane than the United States military. You just said that. You said in Iraq and Afghanistan, the U.S. military killed more civilians than the IDF did in Gaza. You just told me that. I never heard that before. And my question is, how do you know that? What are those numbers?
And I'm trying to explain to you that there were extraordinary efforts to keep the
numbers, do you?
I think they were tens of thousands. I'll get them for you.
Well, you brought it up. That's the only reason I'm pushing
But you
see, this whole entire argument is terrible because Huckabee doesn't even know what he's saying. He's trying to demonize the American military and put over the IDF military as if they're more humane, when in reality, we've seen the TikToks, we've seen the Instagram videos. What is happening in the Gaza Strip, just to a person, whether you're conservative or liberal, doesn't really matter. It doesn't seem that humane. When you saw a city just a few years ago, before October 7th, not necessarily a thriving city, but a city now has been reduced to absolute rubble. So I think you're wrong, Mike, but I think you did handle yourself pretty well. Well, coming up next, we're going to dive even deeper, and we're going to take your calls. The number is 1-800-288-9227. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
The amount of U.S. military hardware in the region right now is impressive and imposing, including dozens of F-15s, F-35s, AWACS, KC-135s, cargo planes loaded with military equipment, and much, much more. In fact, the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier strike group passed through the Strait of Gibraltar at the mouth of the Mediterranean, obviously letting everybody know the big guns are on hand.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Come on, Gus. This is the best house in the neighborhood. Let's find an open gap on their roof and get in the attic and have a heyday making thousands of dollars in damage.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll chew on their electrical wires, ruin their insulation, and the homeowners will never know where we came from.
Come on, follow me. Wait a minute. I swear, there used to be an opening here in their roof line yesterday.
Oh no! The Firehouse roofing truck is here!
At Firehouse, we look at thousands of DFW roofs a year, and too often we find perfect entry points for pests. This is why we originated the easiest solution with our attic seal service. Our seal service team is running 20 appointments a day for only $2.99. And it comes with a 24-month no-pest promise, or we'll refund you your money. Call or schedule online today at firehouseroofing.com and say good riddance to those pesky little rodents.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
Tune into the Financial Hour presented by DeWitt and Dunn Financial Services, Sundays at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Your host, Kathy DeWitt Dunn, has the most up-to-date info you need for your financial success.
Repaving a sidewalk or driveway and pouring concrete costs thousands of dollars. Longcrete lifts the problem by injecting polyurethane underneath uneven concrete to raise, level, and support it. Faster, cleaner, less invasive, and at a fraction of the cost it would take to replace it. Stop tripping over uneven faults in your walkway or porch. Get rid of the ponding on the side of your house or flatten your driveway so you can use the garage again. Don't replace it, raise it. Schedule a free estimate today. Visit longcrete.com. That's LONGCRETE.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me direct your attention to something quite extraordinary. Millions of Americans are setting unrealistic expectations yet again, like Bob.
I'm finally going to shoot 60 on my golf game.
No, you're not, Bob. And Gary.
2026 is the year my kids finally stop arguing.
Sure they will, Gary. Sure they will. And Stacy.
This is the year I finally fix my uneven room temperatures. Just gotta close this vent.
Wait, no. When you close off a vent to a certain room, you're causing the air pressure to build up and work backwards. Not to mention, still not solving the issue. If you have one room in your house that is way too cold or way too hot, you don't have to live like that. With our advanced diagnostic tools, we fix the airflow imbalances in your home in less than 2 hours for only $189. And if your issue is not resolved, we'll refund you your money. Call Milestone today and ask for the room temperature service.
We'll fix it in a flash. Real life, real news. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now, new on FM at 93.3.
That's right, folks. It's Saturday night. You're listening to the best radio station in the DFW Metroplex. That's News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with the host with the most, primetime Alex Stein. We've talked about a lot tonight. I'm happy to spend my Saturday nights with you guys talking about all these geopolitical conflicts, talking about Trump's tariffs, and talking about these never-ending wars that we seem to be starting. But I'm bringing on a financial expert. This guy is a real analyst. He knows insides and outsides and the left and the right and the up and the down, the stuff that the layman doesn't really know. So let's welcome on our guest, Steve Cotton. Steve, how you doing this evening?
I'm just doing great. Thanks for having me tonight.
Well, Steve, tell us, because I'm not a financial expert, these tariffs, it seems like they shut it down, but now Trump's able to raise it to 15%. And I mean, I'm hearing different stories. What is going on? Can you break it down in the most simplistic way?
Well, I'll try to do that. The administration announced its new tariff policy back last spring on the basis of the International Emergency Economic Act. And that was a very broad statute, but it didn't have the word tariff anywhere in it. And people that don't like the Trump's tariff policies filed a lawsuit on the grounds that we're taking on more power to determine tariffs than the law actually gave him. Actually, there are 3 other tariff and trade-related statutes that the administration is now looking to try to cobble together a response to this. But I think in the short run, what this basically does is it tosses all the balls up in the air and creates a tremendous amount of confusion for our trading partners, for exporters, for importers, for consumers, and Republicans in Congress.
Well, how bad were we getting the short end of the stick earlier, before Trump started raising tariffs and started taxing people? How bad was America when it came to our business dealings? Like how much responsibility did we have when it came to all these tariffs?
Well, it was pretty bad. For 40 years, various Republican and Democrat administrations failed to respond to the growing tariffs imposed on our goods. They failed to respond to the non-tariff barriers that other countries put as barriers to bringing in our products. For example, you don't have to just levy a tariff. You can just create regulations that mean you can't import, Ford, Chevrolet trucks into Germany. And that's what a lot of these countries have done. They were egregious violators of the fair trade concept. And for many years, administrations of the right and the left failed to deal with it. And we lost huge industries. We lost critical medical services and pharmaceutical manufacturing bases. We lost a lot. And President Trump has tried to restore some semblance of fair trade by forcing our trading partners to lower their barriers. That's what this is really all about.
Well, Steve, we talk about the American middle class and it's shrinking constantly. And I think a lot of that is because our dollar has just been so weakened. How do we fix it if we want to be able to have affordability when it comes to homes? I think that is the biggest problem, is that young people can't afford to buy a home. How can we fix that, Steve?
Well, the main problem with housing, and as you know, real estate is local. The real estate markets are local markets. There's not a national real estate market. But the problem is we have underinvested in housing infrastructure for 30 years. Mm-hmm. We are behind the curve on providing affordable, reasonably sized homes that young people can afford. And that's a major problem that can't be fixed overnight. But the shortage of housing stock is problem one in a lot of real estate markets. Now, we got a problem in Dallas-Fort Worth because we've got a huge influx of people coming in from California and New York, fleeing these high tax, high regulatory states. And so that creates a greater demand for housing, even more than normal. So there's not a quick fix to that. 30-year mortgage rates are coming down. They have come down some. They need to come down some more. But the problem of housing affordability is not something that can easily be fixed by government or even the private sector. We've got to really focus on that, bring some leadership to a combination of things that make it easier for communities and builders to build homes and easier for people to afford the financing for them.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I read that since about 2019, 1/3 of the money that is in circulation was printed in the last less than 10 years. So can we solve this by printing more money? I don't think that that's the solution, right?
No, money printing just creates inflation. And that's that was part of the problem we had during the Biden years, because in response to COVID and after that, really, the Biden administration and the Fed started printing money like crazy, and there was too much money in circulation, too much money chasing too few goods, and that creates inflation. We also had huge budget deficits. I think our government debt now is around $36 to $38 trillion. That is unsustainable. We have got to get back to some form of fiscal sanity, and it's going to be through a combination of things. But one of the parts of that was some of this tariff revenue that the Trump administration was bringing in. We were on track to bring in, really within the last year, about $600 to $800 billion in tariff revenues. We're on track to bring in $1 trillion. I don't know what this ruling is going to do, but I think the administration is going to try to find a workaround to continue pressure on our allies to trade fairly.
Yeah, I know. I hope that happens. Now, last question I'm going to ask you. Mayor Johnson went to New York City and met with some people because they're trying to do what they call Y'all Street here in Dallas, Texas. Now, I like the idea of a second stock market, but does that really benefit the American people? Can you give us more insight about potentially having a stock market right here in Dallas, Texas?
Well, it's going to be a great thing. It's going to be like having a third coast. You know, we've got Chicago Board of Trade, and we've got the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. But this is going to make Dallas front and center, even more of a global economic and financial center. And one of the things it's going to do is they are going to list companies on the Texas Stock Exchange that relocate to Texas. This is going to be a jobs magnet in Texas, in Dallas, in North Texas. And I think it's going to be superb. I think it's long overdue. And it's going to bring a focus on the Sun Belt and Dallas as a part of the Sun Belt that has been overdue for a long time. I think it's going to be a great thing. The one thing I want them to do, though, is I want them to put a consumer advocate on that Dallas Wall Street or that Dallas Stock Exchange, because I want the consumers and the average investor to have a voice at the table. I don't think they have one yet. They need to put one on that board.
Well, that's good advice. I hope Mayor Johnson's listening. He's a fan of mine, so I'm sure he listens to the show. So, Mayor Johnson, listen, we need some quality control if you guys bring the stock market down here to Dallas, Texas, because I think it's a great thing, but like any good thing, you just said it's going to bring in new jobs and new people. I hope some of those people are Americans and they're not all from Mumbai, India, and I'm not trying to throw shade. I just would like American workers to have access to American exceptionalism, instead of just a bunch of random foreigners. But that's how I feel. I don't know if you agree with that, Steve. But before you go, how can people find you and support you?
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be on your great show. WBAP is one of the flagship radio stations nationwide. And I'm here in Dallas. I'm a financial planner and wealth manager. We have a very client-centric practice, and I have a website at cottonwma.com. It doesn't cost anybody to have a conversation with me. And if we can help people with financial planning and managing their money and not getting blown up in the market, well, we're pretty good at that.
Well, I saw a video. Shaq said that he's a multi-millionaire now because he put all of his money in index funds. Well, I know we only got about a minute. Are index funds that good, or was he being a little over-exaggerated? Was he over-exaggerating?
Well, I think that's very simplistic. I never try to provide financial advice to thousands
radio
of
listeners. I get it.
Airways,
but I guess you don't have to give us advice though. But was he being a little egregious saying that, or do you think there was a little bit of truth in his statement?
Well, he may have had some index funds, but I've got to tell you, the best downside risk management is to have a very, very well diversified portfolio.
Ooh, I like that, the diversified portfolio. Well, mine's diversified. I only got about $5,000 in the market, so it's very diversified. We got some Bitcoin, got some gambling money. No, I'm just kidding. I actually have a little bit of money in the market. I wish that I could make some more money so I could put some more into it. So thank you. We really appreciate your expertise, Steve. Have a good evening, and thank you for listening and supporting WBAP. All right, folks.
Well, thank you. Go Dallas.
Go Dallas. We love the Cowboys. We love this town. And a lot of you guys try to accuse me of being anti-LGBTQ. That is impossible. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I obviously have a lot of gay pride. Love the Jones family, and I hope that we have more gay nights here in the DFW Metroplex. Even though the Texas Rangers were the only baseball team a few years ago that didn't have a gay pride night, and that was the year that they won the World Series. So I don't know. I mean, is there any correlation? Maybe. I don't know. Crazier things have happened. So coming up next, we're going to dive even deeper into this economic issue when it comes to the tariffs. I know you guys are probably tired of listening to tariff talk, but that's what we got to talk about. That's what everybody wants to know, is they want to know the inside baseball. And honestly, I want to know it too. So we're kind of learning on the fly. And we're coming up with what we think would be the best for the American people. So I really appreciate you guys listening. And you guys can call in. The number is 1-800-288-9227. I want to get your opinion. We only got about half an hour left on the program this evening, and I want to get to as many calls as possible. So you're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
James Parker here for Blue Ribbon Roofing, and we all know insurance companies are a pain to deal with, but you know who's an expert at dealing with insurance companies? John, his wife Tish, their son Trevor, and the whole crew at Blue Ribbon Roofing. If you need a new roof, don't call in the claim yourself. Call John, let his team deal with it from start to finish. They've been in the business for 32 years. They have an amazing reputation for quality of work. Get a free inspection today by going to blueribbondfw.com. blueribbondfw.com.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you want to move. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Ernie Brown. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now, new on FM at 93.3.
Fox News, I'm Roger Stern. New York City is bracing for its first blizzard in 9 years, starting tomorrow as powerful nor'easter moves up the Atlantic coast. Mayor Zoran Mondami of New York.
We have more than 2,600 workers per 12-hour shifts. Those are beginning tomorrow. They will be supplemented by even more emergency snow shovelers who will be assisting them across the city.
Besides the snow, much of the Northeast also facing high winds, which could bring down power lines and trees. Just a day after the Supreme Court struck down most of President Trump's tariffs, he's back threatening more using a legal workaround.
He's raising the 10% worldwide tariff on countries to what he called the fully allowed and legally tested 15% level. He'll just be using a different trade law.
Fox's Madeline Rivera in Washington. America is listening to Fox News.
UFAA meteorologist Jesse Hawila. Clear and chilly tonight with a low of 38 degrees. It'll be breezy at times. On Sunday, mostly sunny with a high around 60. Monday, still cool. It's been a while since we've been cool this February, but we'll have sunshine with a high 59.
Breaking news streamed right at you. Download the app.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Guys, you're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. We're rocking with your boy, Primetime Alex Stein, on this Saturday night. I know there's nobody you'd rather spend your Saturday evening with than me. Unless you got some fine honey dip in bed with you right now, just turn the radio up a little louder so your neighbors don't hear you getting weird in bed, okay? They can hear my voice, and that'll try to, make it so you're not embarrassed every time you go get the mail, because I know half you guys are in apartments because we can't even afford homes because the housing crisis here in Dallas is terrible. We got all these other people just flooding the market, coming from New York, coming from California. And guess what? These people have high-paying jobs that they're leaving and getting high-paying jobs here, so they're buying houses and paying money that the average American or average Texan or average Dallasite can't afford. So I'm with you. If you're in an apartment, I totally understand. Luckily, I got my own little place, and I can be as bad as I want to be, as they say, like Dennis Rodman. Well, tonight we've talked about so much. We've talked about all of the tariffs. We've talked about the Israel war. We've talked about, we had Anthony Cumia on. I mean, this has been an action-packed show, but I haven't been able to get to enough calls. So I want to encourage you guys to call in tonight. The number's 1-800-288-9227. If you guys got an opinion on anything and you guys want to get on air, call right now. We got a few people on hold right now. Let's go to Zeta. Am I saying that right? Zeta, you're on WBA. Daniel, you're live on WBAP. How you doing, Dan?
Hey, how's it going, Alex?
I'm doing good. I see your caller ID is a different name. Now I'm sketched out. What kind of name is Zeta? I mean, I don't know if you're doxing. I don't want to dox anybody, but that sounds like a fake name.
No. I mean, it's a funny story. I'm just on a family plan. So the person whose plan is, that's what name comes up. Kind of awkward for meeting girls, but.
Yeah, I know. They're like, who's this girl? They're going to think it's like your ex-girlfriend or something, getting mad at her. That's just only going to make things more complicated. So listen, we've talked about a lot tonight. What do you want to talk about?
I mean, well, first off, I've been following your content for a while now, but, the first thing I want to bring up actually is, why wouldn't you go to Antarctica with Tim Pool Fani? I just feel like that'd be peak content.
To be honest, I watched hours of Antarctica travel, and I forget what the name of that travel agency was, and they specialize in going to Antarctica. I said that I would go if I could go on a cruise ship, because they don't have a normal runway. They have to land on ice. So I don't want to go to Santiago, Chile, and then have to go from Chile. I know I'm trying to say that to be funny, but go from Chile to then the ice wall of Antarctica and land on flat ice. I just don't want to hit a pothole. I mean, I get scared flying into New York City. I get scared flying into Phoenix, Arizona. You realize my anxiety, how high that would be if I'm about to land on an ice runway in Antarctica? And God forbid I'm in Antarctica and then a snowstorm happens and I'm stuck at the edge of the world, and my cats are hungry. My dogs are hungry. My girlfriend at the time would have been mad. I mean, you know what? I do need to go to Antarctica because people will not shut up about the fact that I didn't go, but I love to travel. I just don't know if I have any interest going to the ice wall and freezing my derriere off.
I hear you. Well, can I pitch you one idea?
Shoot. What is it?
Instead, you should go to Venezuela, reports going on there. Say the big booty Latinas, make sure they're safe.
Well, I think they're safe there. I want to get them protected here in the United States. I'm sick of ICE and Tom Homan trying to take all my big booty Latinas away. I mean, my housekeeper, Juanita,
that's right.
She's worked her butt off for me. And guys, I'm a mess. She's got to clean up all day long. Well, she only comes one day a week, but I'm saying she comes here and she has a hard job. She's got to deal with me. She's got to deal with my cat. She's got to deal with my dog, Ginger. So I'm very empathetic to a lot of these women that come here and they just want to work a normal job. Now, what makes me mad is the people that are here on these H-1B visas that are taking real jobs. I'm talking about six-figure jobs that people need college degrees for. I think that is a bigger crisis than, the big booty Latina that just wants to come clean your house or maybe mow your lawn.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Well, Dan, you're very agreeable tonight. Before I let you go, what else you got? You got anything else? Because I'm about to kick you off the air. I really appreciate you calling in. But what did you think about the Huckabee and Tucker interview? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And who do you think won the debate?
I've only, saw a little bit of the interview. Overall, like personally, probably the only issue that I disagree with you about is in regards to Israel. I do like Tucker. I think he's, a good faith person. I'm not going to go screaming he's an anti-Semite. But I mean, generally, yeah, I'm pro Israel.
Yeah, listen, I'm not even anti-Israel. I just feel like we're constantly getting in wars, and it doesn't seem like America's benefiting from those wars. So I got all my Jewish friends. I love them. I think most people, a lot of the anti-Semitism is really high, and I think that is unnecessary. But at the same exact time, I think we should be able to critique Israel's government just like I critique the United States government. I mean, I'm not easy on Donald Trump. I criticize him all the time, and that doesn't mean I don't like him. Doesn't mean I don't support him. I'm just trying to be honest in my feelings and not trying to sugarcoat it. So I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate your support for Israel. I know some people in the chat might disagree with you, but that's what makes this country so great, is that we don't all have to agree on everything. And that's life, and it's not fair. I think that's another thing that we need to learn, is that we come into life thinking that it's all fair. It's not. There's going to be people that don't work as hard as you that are more successful, and there's just going to be people that work incredibly hard and don't have any success, because it's just a sad reality in the world that we live in. You need a little luck. It's not always fair. And I will say this, though. America, the reason why we are the greatest country in the world is because we're one of the only countries that if you actually work hard every single day, the likelihood of being successful is almost guaranteed. But we have a society of young people that don't want to work for it. And there's people middle-aged who don't want to work for it. If you guys want to be successful, you have to go grind. You got to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and not worry about the opinions of strangers, and take chances and take risks and go out there and grind. You're not going to be doing it playing video games and just, watching internet pornography. That's only going to bring you down, distract you. So I encourage you guys, if you have a goal, go after it with as much vigor and as much passion that you can possibly have, because nobody's going to help you other than yourself. I know we got family, I know we got friends, but at the end of the day, we live in a selfish culture that if you want to be successful, it's up to you to go out there and do it. So thank you, Dan. I appreciate you calling in. All right, guys, if you guys want to call in tonight, the number is 1-800-288-9227. And the phone lines, we got a caller in. Who's this caller that just called in? Let's put him on.
Joseph in Boston.
Joseph in Boston. Joe, how you doing?
Hello?
Joe, you there? How you doing, brother? You're in Boston. You're about to get a bad blizzard. Are you worried about that?
Not really. It doesn't look like it's going to be as bad as some of the earlier ones. It's going to be a little warmer, so it'll probably melt off the road pretty quick.
Well, here in Dallas, we just had a snowstorm, and, we're not used to it. We don't have the infrastructure, so it really messed with a lot of the people here, messed with me. Seems like you're not too worried about it, but they're saying it's going to be a blizzard, and New York hasn't had a blizzard in years.
Oh, yeah. That's been a big disaster for those guys, especially with their new leadership. There seems to be a bunch of trash and poo piling up.
Yeah, there is a lot of dog feces on the streets. It's like San Francisco, but San Francisco, I think that's human feces, so that's even grosser. I mean, dog feces is gross, but for some reason, human feces is the grossest, I think. And if we had to, I don't want to keep talking, get too scatological on the show, but like baby poop in a diaper, that's disgusting, right? But adult poop is the number one most disgusting thing there is, even more disgusting than dog poop or bird poop. And San Francisco is littered with human feces. I just cannot believe that has happened to such a great state in California and a classic city like San Francisco. Michael Irvin was going viral for saying about how when he visited up there for the Super Bowl, the energy was just lacking. He said the whole city was dirty. He just said that there should never be a Super Bowl ever again in Northern California. And I tend to agree with him, because in California, they don't care about football. I mean, they have some football teams there, but most of the people there are just not diehard football fans. If you had a Super Bowl here in Dallas where everybody loves football, people are going to be so excited for it. We're not going to have any issues with, poop on the streets. We're going to make sure that all the, feces is cleaned up. So that separates Dallas and San Francisco. I really feel sad for the citizens of San Francisco to see just how the mighty have fallen. I remember going on vacation there with my dad, and it was just so cool. You go to Union Square, you go to Ghirardelli, get some hot chocolate and walk around. It's all hilly, and you take a cab, and you just, you had the California vibes. And now the California dream is dead. And Gavin Newsom's a big part of that reason. And I think that there's actually it's a sad reality to think about, but I think that he has a good chance of being the nominee in the upcoming election. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if Gavin Newsom is a nominee for president, and I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up a good fight. I think he's going to be a better and more likable candidate than Kamala Harris. And if you add my favorite big booty Latina in there with him, AOC, that's going to be a ticket that we need to be worried about. And then in all of the primary polling so far in Dallas, the Democrats are outvoting by nearly almost over 100,000 people have voted in the Democratic primary here in the DFW area, as opposed to the conservatives voting in the Republican primary. It might be actually closer to 50 or 60,000 more votes, but still, I mean, that is a big discrepancy. And it just shows you that there's people that have energy on the left that didn't have it during the last election. And it seems like we're getting complacent on the right. So I encourage you guys, there's early voting happening right now. If you're in Texas, if you're in DFW, go participate, go vote. I know you think, oh, it's a primary, it's not that important. Well, trust me, it is important. We got guys like Dan Crenshaw who's sweating bullets. We got Tony Gonzalez in a tough battle with Brandon Herrera, and we all need Brandon Herrera to win. I know the controversy surrounding Tony Gonzalez, the fact that one of his staffers died under mysterious circumstances after they were allegedly having an affair. We need politicians that aren't sleeping with their staffers. All right, guys, coming up next, we're going to get back to more of your calls. The number's 1-800-288-9227. You're listening to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
These stories are making news in the week ahead.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce says it welcomes the U.S. Supreme Court's decision striking down the Trump administration's sweeping tariffs.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing.
The U.S. could find itself in another war.
Whatever happens next will happen here first.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Here's Jim Dutton, host of Texas Home Improvement and owner of Due West Foundation Repair.
You know, after doing this radio show for the past 21 years and answering thousands of questions on the air, I'm still amazed at just how many people call the show that hired a foundation repair company and were sold repairs they didn't need, or worse, when they need them the most, the company that did the repairs is out of business. Call my company, Due West Foundation Repair. We've literally repaired tens of thousands of foundations in the state of Texas since 1978. And most jobs come with a lifetime transferable warranty backed by a company that's been keeping homes on a solid foundation since 1978. Don't take chances and hire some fly-by-night company. When it comes to one of your biggest investments, call the best. Call Due West Foundation Repair, 972-406-0912. That's 972-406-0912. Online at du-west.com.
Hey, Brad Barton for Wellborn Garage. You never realize how much you rely on your garage door until it suddenly won't open, and it changes your whole day. Let's be honest, garage doors get attention only when something goes wrong. Noisy doors, misaligned tracks, cracked seals letting in bugs and weather. And that garage spring is dangerous. Since 1997, Wellborn Garage has been the trusted choice for fast, reliable repairs. And right now, there's no service fee with completed work through the end of the month. Just visit callwellborngarage.com.
Open the door to quality and more. Wellborn Garage Doors.
I'm worth more.
You bet I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
We completely agree. At GiveMeTheVIN.com, you are worth more, and your car's worth more. And we want to pay more for good cars that give me the VIN, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if we don't beat a deal from Carvana or CarMax, we'll pay you $100 for top price, trust, and ease of transaction. GiveMeTheVIN.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you want to move. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, this is Ernie Brown. I'm here with Mark of Mark Spain Real Estate. Mark, can you explain to our listeners how the guaranteed offer allows homeowners to sell their home without the stress that comes with a traditional sale?
The Mark Spain Real Estate guaranteed offer eliminates the hassle of a traditional home sale by no showings, no open houses, no lock boxes. It's really a very simple process. We bring you a strong cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days, and you don't have all those crazy contingencies and crazy hurdles to overcome with a traditional home sale.
Thanks, Mark. Mark Spain Real Estate has been serving families for 30 years and has helped over 72,000 satisfied clients. Don't wait for your home to sell. Choose when you want to move and close with confidence. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com. and start packing.
Dan Bongino returns.
It's real. You better produce something fast.
And he's not holding back.
Dan, that's backwards. No, I'm telling you the truth.
Hard truths and a bold perspective no one else can offer.
You may not hear this anywhere else. I'm always under the assumption that you're being played, we're being played. Man, this show continues to expand its footprint. I love you guys for it.
It's the comeback everyone's been waiting for.
If there was ever a time, it is this one.
The Dan Bongino Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Are you ready for more? Hello, it's Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And when you shop with Freeman Toyota, you get 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus 3 years of complimentary tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with every new Freeman Toyota. 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like I said, you get a lot more, and you won't pay a dime for it. Come see us at 183 and 820 or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
You know what you're listening to, guys. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP with your boy Primetime Alex Stein. What a night. We've talked about a lot of different things. We talked about the tariffs. We've talked about Trump. We've talked about Huckabee versus Tucker. We've had some legendary callers. But I want to get to you guys. You know, this is a collaboration. Me, Primetime Alex Stein, and you, the listeners. So let's get with our first caller. Is this guy in, what, we got Stefan in Boston. Stefan, how you doing, Stefan? You're live on WBAP.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
What do you got for us this evening?
Oh, well, first, I just want to pay compliments and saying you're looking more and more handsome each day on your new show. Although I'm not sure you're supposed to plug it here on the radio, but
no, we can plug it. We're talking about my Real America's Voice show. Actually, real quick, I hope I don't get in trouble with this. One of our advertisers, GiveMeTheVin.com, I've done business with them. I've sold them some cars. It's a great company to sell your car to. I'm telling you guys, I don't know if I'm even supposed to give them a little extra airtime. I've just sold them a bunch of cars. GiveMeTheVin.com gives you the best price if you're trying to sell your car. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I can talk about my show, Real America's Voice. If you guys are a WBAP listener, I have a daily show on Real America's Voice. The Charlie Kirk show's on the network. We got Steve Bannon. We got a lot of people on the network. And I got a new show. We're in our first month there. But I love doing this radio show. It's just a different beast. It's a little more structured, and it's just fun to get here and open up the calls and just take your phone calls. You know, I like that. I like the interaction.
It's a good balance because you're a little more encumbered or less encumbered here on the radio, but there's not quite the same wild dynamic as the previous show.
Yeah, because, you know, what's on TV, I can't cuss. There's a lot of stuff I can't, you know, I got to be a little more dialed in. The other show is just strictly on the internet. And so because we're on Dish and we're on the cable networks, you got to be, you know, we got to follow some FCC communication guidelines, which I don't always follow. And so I got to be a little more cognizant of not breaking the rules. But Stefan, what do you think about all this alien disclosure? Is that all a bunch of garbage, or is there some truth to all of that?
Disclosure wise, I don't know that we'll ever, you know, what would you consider proof, and then what would you believe, and how would you corroborate it? Is this the type of thing where, you know, the fear is that it would cause widespread panic, but if there was some sort of disclosure event, it would perhaps destabilize certain religious beliefs or that sort of thing. But
I think to cut you off, I think it could reinforce some religious beliefs, because I think if they do tell us there's aliens, they're going to tell us that they're like demons and that I would just speculate this. I don't know. So I'm just kind of spitballing it here. But I think they'll tell us that we have some sort of demons that can overtake a human body, because you know, it's like the alien's not physical. In order for the alien to operate, they almost have to like infect us like a virus. Like the alien is going to be considered more of a parasite than like an ET type thing. So I think they'll give us some disclosure, but it won't be like a physical alien. They'll say, oh, there's aliens all around you and that they can take you over. And I do think you're right. I think it would cause widespread panic, but they probably want us panicking about aliens and not panicking about the economy, not panicking about the Epstein list, not panicking about, a lot of things, because even Ronald Reagan and multiple presidents said that we would need an, extraterrestrial threat to bring all of the nations together. And right now, all the nations are pretty divided. So I think that the fake alien invasion or the real alien invasion, whatever you want to call it, is just a way to kind of push us towards a one world order.
Well, and so it would destabilize certain religious beliefs, but when you go back 5,000 years ago, it actually does sound like there were these intelligent beings that came down from above and gifted society technology and other types of things, or prevented wars from happening under certain situations, where a silver disc came out of the sky. And so on one hand, it might confirm certain people's religious beliefs, but I also think that we might have created this non-human entity. What do you think about that, Mr. Stein?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we can create life.
Something it's called it went level 5. It escaped to the cloud and we can't delete it anymore. And if the AI thinks we're supposed to have a faux or real alien invasion, then we have one.
Well, and you say that, though, they've been doing all kinds of weird experiments. You see the movie, The Island of Dr. Moreau. Like, I know that's a movie and that's fake, but I guarantee you there's some weird labs where they're cloning things or trying to create life out of nothing, where they're putting human embryos into inorganic wombs. And so the idea that they could create a sentient thing, I think they probably could do that. I mean, I don't know if we have any evidence for it, but I would not put it past these people. It's like AI. I guarantee you the military has that access to our version of ChatGPT for probably the past 20 years.
Sure. Which just means they've been getting stupider. If you use it, I think you get stupider.
You do. That's why there's people that have been working for Uber Eats and DoorDash for 10 years in one major city, and they still don't know where they're going because they're just constantly relying on the GPS. So it doesn't actually train or make your amygdala remember anything. So there is something to it. It makes it where we just are dumber because we're just having a computer. And my AI is wrong all the time. I ask it questions and people ask it questions and it identifies me in videos all the time, and videos that I'm not in. So it's not that smart.
Well, it's supposed to teach us, ultimately the lesson of any sci-fi movie when it comes to these AI computers is the lesson at the end of the day is that you're not supposed to trust them no matter how good they get. Because honestly, Primetime 99, you talk about transgenders in sports and how that can affect betting, and so you might as well. But if someone really thinks they can predict the future and they're looking at this person, they're saying, oh, they're going to be a murderer, they're going to be a criminal. Predict tomorrow's sports scores with even 50% accuracy. Consistently.
That is true. Well, Vegas is accurate a lot of the times, but
whether or not you can predict human behavior, but I mean, come on.
No, I think you're right. And sports gambling is one of the hardest things in the world. And people think they're experts, but even the experts lose all the time.
Well, it's proof that all these AI guys are freaking BS, and they're either indoctrinated into this, and they're falsely indoctrinated into this paradigm that if you improve the algorithm, it eventually will be able to tell the future. Well, if that's the case, it's a free market right now. Gambling, you can gamble on pretty much anything. So if your algorithm and your software is so good, then go be a trillionaire. And what are you worried about whether or not person X, Y, or Z or demographic ABC is going to do this?
You're right, Stefan. Well, hey, we got to wrap things up. Thank you so much for calling tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being a supporter. Thank you for watching the show, Real America's Voice, After Hours with Alex Stein. And thank you guys for listening this evening. It's been a wild ride every Saturday night that I get to come in here and broadcast with you guys. It's going to be a little funky because, I'm the maestro of the Matrix. I'm the pimp on a blimp. I'm Primetime 99 Alex Stein, and I'm always going to come here and I'm going to give you something that you don't expect. And sometimes, we're going to not be perfect. And I think perfection is the enemy of good. So all I'm trying to do is be good and give you guys a good radio show to listen to. And that's why I'm so happy that WBAP lets me come here on these airwaves and talk to you guys. And I really appreciate you guys participating. Thank you to all the guests that called in. Steve Cotton, Dan Veroni, and Raven Harrison. You guys were awesome for making time calling into the show. And thank you to all the callers. I know some of the callers we're not going to be able to get to, so I apologize to all the ones that we weren't able to get to. But I just want to say that we live in a crazy world. And right now, it seems like they want to make things crazier. They want to distract us. They want to tell us that aliens are real. They want to start a war with Iran. The Supreme Court justices, some of the ones that even Trump appointed, are going against the person that put them in power. So just remember this. We need to have some gratitude. As the world burns around us, we all should thank our lucky stars that we're even alive, that we even get to witness it, because we're in a time in history that will It'll never be like this ever again. And there was people that were born a long time ago that would probably trade places with us in a moment. So we got to have some gratitude and a little bit of appreciation for the good things in life. Even when there's a lot of bad out there, we got to be happy that there's some good. And I'm sure we all got family and we all got friends and we all have loved ones that we care about. So make sure to hug your loved ones. Make sure to call your mom, your dad, your daughter, your son, and tell them that you love them, because not enough people are hearing that. We got a loneliness epidemic in this country, and we need to come together, especially right now. I don't think there's a better time than now to come together. Maybe call that old friend you had a fight with and try to make things up, because this alien disclosure is actually a big thing, which I don't think it will be. People are going to be tripping out. People are going to be acting crazy. And I don't know what's going to happen. And our last caller kind of, he was correct. It's hard to predict the future when it comes to sports. It's hard to predict the future when it comes to wars. It's hard to predict the future, period, because we don't know. So let's not continue to worry about the future. Let's just try to take. Thank you guys for listening. We got to go, but I'm going to try to go live tomorrow. So be on the lookout for a live stream tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a long live stream, and I'll take phone calls tomorrow. I love you guys. Peace.